welcome everybody to Do All the Things, the GDQ Hotfix show all about 100% speedruns and completionist categories in general. I'm your host, Mr. Shasta. And today we have two really fast, really awesome 100% asterisk platformers that are just really cool runs, honestly. They're just really sick. I'm glad I got these two on, honestly. I'm very happy to show y'all these runs here, you know. Cool intro. Anyway, so let's get into the runs. That's what I say. Hi, Shredberg.
I'm doing well.
What's this game right
thanks
here?
for having me, Mr. Shasta. Yeah, I'm Shredberg.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, is it time to just kick this thing off?
Yeah,
all right, let's sound good. Make sure that I have my save all ready to go. All right, and let's start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yeah, this is Super Meat Boy, platformer from 2010, almost 15 years old. Right now we're going to start out playing as just the title character, Meat Boy. He's a run and jump character, but there is some like background tech that's going along. Like right there, you're going to see me pause a few times on some of these levels, and that's to perform a trick called auto jump, and that lets me jump on every single possible frame. I'll explain it more later, especially when it becomes like very obvious in some places. But to the category of 106, as you know, makes sense for the show and everything. It's just everything in the game. We're doing all the things. And so that means all of the levels, which includes these like warp zone bonus levels. We're also going to be collecting bandages. Those are those pink things floating in the air. There's 100 of those, so we're going to collect those. And there's like, including warp zone levels, there's like 300 levels in it. All in really like an hour and 20 minutes or so, which means that each level is going to be taking like 4 or 5 seconds each. Extremely fast paced all the way through the game. Really not much of a break the entire time. And if you've ever played the game, you know, pretty difficult all the way across the run. Although one thing that's really nice about this category specifically is you're not just playing as Meat Boy the whole time. What sort of makes this game really interesting to me is that there are bonus guest characters that have different mechanics that will change the way that you go through the levels just in general, and some of them can be really fast. So for example, right here is Commander Video. Commander Video, not really going to be used in this speedrun other than these 3 levels. A run and jump character, but has a float ability. Really cool, but unfortunately pretty slow, not really any speed uses, but is just an example of it, of the different bonus characters that you get. You get the bonus characters in 2 ways. One, through a warp zone, like I just did. Once you beat the warp zone, you unlock the character. And the second way is by getting enough bandages, which really it's every 10 bandages you'll have some sort of character unlock. Sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're just like Meat Boy reskins. Whoops, I was doing the wrong strat. Here's a fun one where I'm gonna like try to, oh gosh, I got a little like weird momentum off of this jump, but yeah, try to fall and just grab that bandage as you're falling and immediately jump off. Very tight window, but got it there 3rd try or so.
You still take those.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with how quick that death is. It's not a big deal at all.
Oh yeah.
And so each chapter has 20, what I'm going through right now are light levels. I need to beat each of these in a certain amount of time. It's called the A+ time. For the most part, that's going to be really straightforward to do. There's a few that it is impossible to get A+ while getting a bandage, and so I'm going to be doing some tech to make it to where I only have to play through the level 1 time. But in the light worlds, there are 3 warp zones, so we already finished all 3 of those. And then there's the 20 levels, and then there's the boss. So we just got 1 level and then the chapter's boss, and we're going to be actually going back to this first chapter, Forest. But before I get into Dark Forest, the first boss is Lil Slugger. Amazing song, but sadly you really only hear like the build up of it, and you don't get to hear the best part of the song. Like it just cuts off right before it gets really, 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 really good. It's just an auto scroller too. It's really easy. Once every like 6 months or so, you'll die, and then you feel really bad though. So, but yeah, that's the first part of the first chapter. Just got to get there to the end. That boss song has a remix in what is it? Rift of the Necrodancer. Oh no, I didn't get A+ on what's it called? That's fine. If you look to see on the map, each of those show A+ on it, and so then when you don't, there's like a lighter red version of it, and you can see on the map there it was locked. But that's fine. I'll just exit back to map on that. I knew that I had messed up, but I was like, it'll probably be fine. But I don't really have the A+ times memorized on pretty much any level, but like 1 or 2 of them. Because for the most part, if you don't mess up, you got it pretty easily. But sometimes you mess up. Right here, gonna go really tight between those saw blades. And the first like 3 splits of the game, first chapter and a half, actually really the first 4 splits, we are really just going to be using Meat Boy 90% of the time when you have to, just because he runs really fast, has a good jump ability. Overall, just like probably the second best character in the game. Cool. Yeah, we get to do this level again. Normally on this we use a strat called storage jump, but whoops. I'll get into that more later. There's a very obvious couple times when I do it, but essentially like when you oh, that's fine. When you start a level, you actually start like slightly above the ground, and there's a way to, okay, gosh, I forgot to explain Glitch Girl, and I just lost Glitch Girl here. I should have done the safer strat. But anyways, once you beat the boss of a chapter, there's a chance that Bandage Girl will look glitched out when you start a level. And that's called Glitch Girl. When you beat the level when Bandage Girl looks glitched out, you unlock a bonus level. That's called the glitch level. If you were to do everything but those glitch levels, you'd get 100%, and there's 6 glitch levels. So that's basically the 6 in 106%. You don't really want to do anything specifically to like make sure Glitch Girl comes out, or at least in theory you don't want to. You would want it to pop up organically. That way you're not really losing time. But there's only about a 50-60% chance that Glitch Girl shows up just as you're playing through the dark levels. So basically each time I go into a level, it's my chapter completion percentage over 2,000. If you do that math, that's what the chance of Glitch Girl popping up is. And so that ends up being, again, like 50-60%. It actually changes for each chapter because some of them have like warp zones, which give you more bandages and more levels early. And so then the earlier you have a higher percentage, the math just works out to where you have a slightly higher chance of Glitch Girl showing up. But right now, despite me dying on the one where Glitch Girl did show up, no other opportunity. There's 2 ways of going about it when you don't have it on the final level. One of them is to die right at the beginning here and just like hope it pops up, which is probably if you're just doing like going for PBs, that's what you would do and die like a couple times and see if it comes up, and if not, reset. But if you're doing just like a run like this, you actually want to go here, because when you die and you hit a like a saw blade or something, it's going to show like a death animation. It's pretty short, but it is like probably a quarter second. But when you run off screen, it just immediately, no animation plays, it just resets. And so we're just going to keep on dying to reset the level until Glitch Girl shows up. Last night I did this, or the other night, and it took me, I guess, like 60 deaths, which is the most that I have ever had in doing that. One thing also about it is when you get 100% in the chapter, it actually, that chapter completion percentage over 2,000 is no longer the case. It instead goes to essentially 1 in 10. So your odds are better once you have everything completed in the chapter. So it's another reason why grinding on the last level isn't necessarily the best way to go, but it is like a high risk, high reward kind of thing. I guess medium reward in that case. But now we're in the second chapter, Hospital. On this one, we're just going to do light and then move on to the third chapter. But here you can see added more things to the game. There's these fans that sort of push you in certain directions. Right here, we're going to try to like go in the air a little bit and then make this big fall right over a bandage. Got it. Yeah, and we use it. Right here is like a skip, I guess, but there's like a whole second part of the level that's over up to the top left that I have not seen since maybe the first time I played the game. One of those skips where I don't even think of it like a skip just because it's so natural feeling. But here we're going to actually get into the second character unlock. This is Jill. Jill has, it's sort of like a hover, but I guess it's an air stall is probably the way to put it, is you basically set your velocity back to 0 whenever you press the jump button, which honestly is not used very much in this warp zone. And then we're never going to see Jill again, so bye, Jill.
Goodbye, Jill. Do you know what game she's from? I have no idea.
Yeah, it is like a mid-2000s like flash game, Mighty Jill Off. It's like you are climbing this tower. It's pretty fun. I played through it one time.
Nice.
Shout out to Back for he speedruns this game and then also is at least was the 100% world record holder. I don't really pay attention to that leaderboard all too much, but at one point was world record holder. I still think that he is, but I don't know. Maybe I'm providing misinformation on the internet. You never know. And then when it comes to the warp zones as well, there's like 2 different types of warp zones. Kind of. There's the ones that are color, and then there's these ones which are like a Game Boy version of them. Right here, we're gonna auto jump to just beat those saw cycles. But as I was saying before, some levels we want to get A+. But there's a bandage, so I'm going to do something called timer glitch. So I'm pausing and pretending like I'm exiting the game, then canceling out. If you look at the timer up at the top left, it's going to say 0, 0, 0. And when I beat the level, that's what the game thinks I beat it in, is just 0 seconds. And so obviously 0 is less than, whatever time the A+ is. So we are able to get the bandage and beat the level and get A+ all in one go. If there was no timer glitch, you would have to play through the levels twice. That was actually patched. I'm not playing on a down-patched version technically. I'm playing on a Linux version, which never got the update. But on the updated version, that's patched. So they play on a down-patched version of the game that does not have timer glitch patched out. And it loses quite a bit of time. I believe it's like at least a minute of time loss just in not having timer glitch. So a pretty important piece of tech, honestly. Yeah, and we got like a minute or so until the boss if you have any announcements or anything, Mr. Shasta.
Yeah, I can do that real quickly then. Yeah, so do you know about the GQ's International Transgender Day of Visibility celebration? It'll be happening March 29th through 30th on the channel. It's going to be very awesome. There's a lot of really banger runs in that event, honestly. So yeah, exclamation for trans visibility in chats to see the schedule for that and more info in general, which, yeah, I'll type it for you. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's a big one for sure.
Sounds awesome.
Working on that schedule, like it's very good.
I haven't checked out the schedule for that. I saw posts about it like on Blue Sky, but need to look at that schedule.
like it starts off with like a Maze and Mirror, and it also has like Castlevania Order of Ecclesia on the same day, and that run is incredible. So like I'm very excited for that, especially.
Here's another one where I timer glitch, and then there we go. We got a fast cycle there, which saves like a good 3-4 seconds. So some big time save here. I'm gonna go for a silly time save right at the beginning here. Dang, just missed it. It's a really tight skip that saves half of a second. Absolutely not worth going for in runs, unless you're on hotfix and you want to try to get it, but then still miss it because it's really tight. But still worth going for. And now we're going to be here on the second boss. This is Chad. Chad's got actually like, I guess it's just one skip, but there's like 3 tight little windows to get it. So this screen we want to have continually scroll up, and so we got to grab this key really fast. You want to grab that while the key is, or sorry, while the screen is still scrolling up. Use auto jump there to jump off of those lock blocks as they're going away after you grab the key. And so that saves. Normally what happens is in the middle of that level, the screen stops scrolling and then Chad goes back and forth, and that takes about 8 seconds or so. So by grabbing that key while it's still going up, save a bit of time. Here we're going to play as Hominid and then actually just change characters immediately. The reason for that is that if you enter a level, you actually can't pause the game before you before the timer starts. And in order to do timer glitch, you actually have to pause the game before the timer starts, and then we go and do that menuing. That way the timer stays at 0. So it's much faster to just press one direction on the character selection screen, which goes to Alien Hominid from the GameCube game Alien Hominid. Might have been on other consoles as well, but I played it on GameCube.
Might PC as well? I know I played the 5 version of that back in the day.
They like re-released it recently.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Remember that?
Yeah. I remember I was at PAX West and they had a big thing for it, and I was like, oh, that's right.
Totally
the alien is back.
The game is alright. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
I've had this guy right here from Machinarium on my Steam wish list, or my Steam like page for like 12 years. I still haven't played the game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is Joseph. Should explain it. I'll explain Joseph more in probably the next chapter, but he's got this big old super jump, which is very useful. It also has this thing where if you run off, if you jump off, you just lose your jump. But if you run off of a platform, and then you can get a mid-air jump, so that makes it useful for things like that. That's why I used Joseph on those, is to get big air and then a mid-air. But I'll explain a little bit more how that works later. This right here is probably the hardest bandage in the game, honestly. You have to be right at the very bottom of that, and then you have to change directions really fast. Also, that's confusing how I just ran off there. I did not take a death. There's actually multiple bandage girls in that level. There's the one that you can see that's up top, but then there's also one that's like slightly off screen. If that doesn't make sense, I understand. It really just has to do with the way that the like dev tools, they allow you to put down multiple bandage girls. That's not the only level that has multiple. There's a bunch that happen, and so I assume the devs accidentally, put a bandage girl down, and then they just had no idea. And so if you just run off on that specific place, you can touch a bandage girl. It makes the end of the level way easier. Whoops. But yeah, Joseph, the way that he works for probably a casual player is, well, I guess the way he works in general is that when you jump, it's just a normal jump, but then you press jump again, and it will... Actually, I'm trying to think of whether it affects your... No, it's definitely your velocity. So it just adds on to your existing velocity. And normally when you're jumping, when you let go of the jump button, your velocity goes immediately to 0. But we actually use 2 jump buttons called dual jump, which means that you're able to press jump and then jump again. Normally when you're playing casually, right, to jump, you need to let go for a second. So normally, like, even if you're as fast as possible, you're just adding whatever that vertical velocity is to 0, but if you do two jump if you press the jump button 2 frames consecutively, you get a really high jump, as you see or saw there with Joseph, and you'll see it a few other times as well. Makes it really nice on levels that are just like complete vertical climbs, just because of how much faster it is than Meat Boy climbing up. You can technically use that to go through here, to use Joseph to go through these saws, but it's really tight. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but it can save you like 5 seconds if you're good at it. But the problem is if you don't get it within the first 2 attempts, you lose time on it, and it's really difficult to get that within 2 attempts. Right here, another showing of that Joseph super jump. When you use auto jump, it makes it really consistent, for probably obvious reasons, right? You're jumping every single frame. So you're always getting those 2 jumps 1 frame apart. So that's your maximum jump height. This is a level that, like, in theory would actually be really great for Joseph, but it is surprisingly extremely difficult with Joseph. So we're just switching with Meat Boy, which is fine anyways, because like this level right here, oh my gosh, is a better Meat Boy level anyways. There we go. Do a little skip there, and then we can grab the bandage at the same time. If you don't do that skip, you gotta either timer glitch or play through the level twice, which obviously not. We don't want to play through any of these levels twice. This is another one where it's like, it is really long, and we get the bandage and the level completion with
Sorry for technical difficulties, everybody, but we're back. And I think we should start the run again. So let's go.
All right. So this is Brownie. This one is normally like a whole race that we do all the way through a bunch of, back and forth on this one, but we are just going to go across. What I do is a trick called sprint jump. And so what that does is it actually keeps you really close to a wall. The way that this game works is that when you go off screen, you will, if you're far enough away off screen, you'll die. But if you do a thing called sprint jump, essentially what happens is you jump without pressing sprint held. There, we got Glitch Girl already. That's fantastic news for us. So we already get that, got the bonus level. We don't have to worry about the whole rest of the chapter. But anyways, when you do a sprint jump, you have sprint not held. That makes you jump off with a lower velocity. And but you also have a lower acceleration when sprint isn't held. And then you immediately press, once you jump off the wall, you press sprint again. And what that's going to do is, because you have that, I should be fine. Since you have that higher acceleration value, you're going to stay closer to the wall compared to if you jumped off both with sprint held the whole time or sprint not held the whole time. So one little trick, we actually use that all the way through the run in order to save time on basically every single jump that you stay on the same wall. Saves a lot of time, but for the most part, it's like a frame or 2 or 3 each time you do it. And that's actually going to do it for Joseph, because we're about to unlock what's probably definitely the fastest player in the game, the fastest character, I should say. So we're going to finish the next like 4 or 5 levels with just Meat Boy, which is great. I wish there was a little bit more Joseph in this game, honestly, but that is the way that it is. I have been trying to get through, I took a little bit of a break recently, but going to go back to it. Doing this 106 part of it, do it deathless. I've gotten down to 3 deaths, but that run when I'm doing it deathless, because you don't care as much about the time, And by as much, I mean you don't care at all about the time. You get a variety of characters, so you actually do use Joseph more. Here is another level where I tried, you go down the side, you have to be really tight to make sure you don't go off screen too much. If you do, again, you'll die. And now we unlocked Nyjah, and so Nyjah is the fastest character in the game, has a dash ability. You get the dash back whenever you touch any sort of surface. And one thing that makes Nyjah really special is Nyjah can clip through walls. That is supposed to be a level where I'm showing off how it's done. There we go. Just take a death and then we do it. So yeah, Nyjah can dash through walls, which makes it really fast. I miss both of those keys. One thing that's really nice about Nyjah is that because Nyjah dashes, you can stay off of the floor a lot of the time with Nyjah because of the way Nyjah wants to touch, like once you touch a ceiling or whatever. Because of that, for the most part, you are routing it out to where you're touching like the ceiling as much as possible. But levels like this make it a little bit tough, but it's still faster than even Meat Boy because of that. But like levels like this sort of make it, I think, pretty clear of why, Nyjah is pretty OP. So for the entire rest of the game, outside of levels that force you to play as Meat Boy, we're going to be playing as Nyjah, with a couple exceptions, but still like 95% of the time. The way that Nyjah works is a little bit different than most dash characters. Most dash characters, you press the dash button and then they immediately dash. That is not the case with Nyjah. With Nyjah, you actually press what would be the dash button, and it's going to bring you into this like bubble state. And when you let go, that is when you actually dash. So when you see that like yellow bubble, that is when you're holding down the dash button, but haven't let go yet. And what that essentially does is bring you into this sort of like low speed, low acceleration mode. But what you can do, and I actually did it twice there, and I've been doing it as I climb this, is you can do what's called a super dash, and it's a frame perfect dash where you make the bubble not pop up. And so what that means is you'd never go into that low speed, low acceleration mode, and you just keep whatever your speed was. And that makes your dash much faster, because the way the dash works is you actually, similar to how Joseph added like a speed value to wherever your existing speed is, but in the vertical direction, Nyjah has that, but it's both the vertical and horizontal direction. So it takes whatever that existing speed is, adds on the vector, and then that's what your speed output is, which can make Nyjah very sort of tricky at first, very notoriously hard for people trying to get into like speedrunning this category. A lot of people avoid Nyjah because of that, but it's, once you practice it, it's not too bad. But the high level Nyjah stuff does get really, really fast, especially if you go look at ILs. They can go, they go wild. I recommend looking some up at some point. Here we're going to go underneath this instead of waiting between cycles, which is fun. There we go. And I think that's about it with explaining Nyjah. I'm sure that everybody is like, oh, what you just said is crystal clear. That makes so much sense. But for the most part, we're just going to be trying to dash as quickly as we can. Whoa, most of the rest of it's not too much of a, you know, we're just going to do the strats. Here at the beginning of this next level, you just got to hold left the whole time, and then you can go over here. It looks like you shouldn't be able to jump on these. It looks like you're like jumping on lava balls casually. That's what I assumed it was. I remember the first time I saw that, I was a little bit mad. I was like, what? That should have hitboxes. It looks like there's lava balls there, but it tricks you. There's actually, you can jump on it. So nice little bit of time save there. Well, it's not really time, is it? Makes it easy. I know that much at least. In Hell,
it's quality of life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely quality of life. Hell adds these portals, which can be a little bit finicky, but They work like portals do. On some of these levels, we're going to be skipping it like that, where we're just going to clip through the level. I'll explain that a little bit more. There's a part in the... Oh, dang it. I was just a little bit fast. I'm playing on the Linux version, and that makes these eyeballs disappear sometimes, and then I messed up there. I should just go slowly. I'm not entirely sure why they disappear like it did right there. It's something to do with the Linux and Mac version of the game where it happens. That does as it might look. It can save you time. But there's no way that I have found to make sure that consistently happens. But it's nice when it does, because it's just, at a minimum, one less hazard to worry about. Right here, gotta make sure, use auto jump. Oh gosh, okay, there we go. Had to do a little bit of a backup there. This game is a little bit inconsistent, and for the same reason actually why clipping through walls works in this game is why it's a little bit inconsistent, is the frames are not the same time. So there's like 16 millisecond frames, and then there's 17 millisecond frames. There's two of one of them and then one of the other. I forget which one is which. I don't know. But when you get the correct timed frame, you can clip through any wall. On here, I'm supposed to be trying. It's not that big of a deal anymore. I'm going to do a clip, but this is a more consistent clip, and that is a clip with a super dash. And when you're doing that super dash, that's the one that explains the frame perfect dash. You're able to clip through those half blocks really consistently. As you can see, that block where that button isn't all the way full. So if you do a super dash and you have basically full speed, you go fast enough where you'll clip through it every single time. All right, right here we're going to go into another warp zone, really hidden. I remember casually I had to look up where this was because there's no way I was finding it on my own. This is Fly Wrench from the game Fly Wrench. I actually have, whoa, what happened there? I haven't played Fly Wrench, but I hear it's good. I don't think it controls anything like this, but Fly Wrench has like 3 midair jumps that are all pretty small, and then can also like slide up walls basically. Oh, okay, that's cool. Normally I like jump off of a wall there, but I did like kind of a cool skip there that saved probably half second or so. Could have been a little bit faster, but I wasn't expecting to get that skip. Normally just trying to be at the bottom of that wall, but just went all the way below it. So that's cool. All right, and now we're gonna go to my favorite boss, Little Horn, which that's a little bit of sarcasm, but only because like right here, we're just gonna stand here and then we're gonna jump 3 times. And that's it. If you stand here, the fists won't hit you as long as you jump over them. Like he's gonna slam down 3 times here, it won't. There's those falling down zombie boys. Those aren't gonna hit you, like you're just completely safe. And so there's also one thing here, if you use that timer glitch tech, you can also make animations in the background continue to go, and you're invincible the whole time. So you can make like that boss make his fist slide through you, and you're just perfectly safe. That is of course slower, but it is cool. You know, worth.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that one. That's cool.
Yeah. Worth showing off, not worth it for any other reason. But
oh yeah.
now we're going to go to Rapture, where Rapture is really where the level starts to get a lot bigger. For the most part, we are beating these levels in like 3, 4, 5 seconds. And Rapture, even with Nisha being really fast, it's turning into like 7, 8, 9 second level times is really what happens with Rapture. And so this is one of these chapters where, where you really got to be careful with your mistakes, because, you know, in Meat Boy in general, like even in any percent, the world record has a couple deaths. It's not the end of the world if you have a death. You're going to have them just because of how tight the strats are and how many different strats there are. But in 106, it's just amplified. And then plus with how fast Nyjah is, there is sort of a, there's sort of like a risk reward that goes on, because even what I'm doing is pretty like what I would say intermediate Nyjah, whereas you can do some really very fast things, but some of them are very risky. Because what I was explaining earlier, where your dash is just based off, like your speed after you dash is based off of like a vector, that depending on the strat can really matter. A lot of what I'm doing, there's some things that are really tight but it's pretty procedural overall, I would say, compared to what you could do with some really tight Nyjah gameplay. These zombie boy things over there, they are RNG on whether or not they chase you, which really only affects that level, I think, in terms of the run, but honestly sort of don't remember. Okay, we're gonna try to not, there we go. For whatever reason, that first, even though those jumps are the same, that first one feels like it's much harder than the second one. There we go. Second warp zone. We're actually, so I explained earlier that in the light worlds, you have 3 warp zones. I'm actually gonna skip one. Okay, I'm gonna skip the first warp zone on this, and I'm gonna get back to it later. And that has to do with Glitch Girl and the grind for it. It'll hopefully make more sense when I get there and actually explain it. But just know for now, I didn't skip the first level of this chapter on purpose. Or I did skip it on purpose. There's a plan. There's a reason. And we'll get to that when we get to...
It's called routing, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'll make much more sense when we get to Dark Rapture, but that's in like 20 minutes, I don't know. Maybe less than that. 15 minutes. However long. It's probably 20, actually. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to be going through and these next few levels with Nyjah, and then we actually get a little bit of a Nyjah break for a bit because the game's going to force us to play as Meat Boy. There's this like float mechanic, and this is really sort of an abuse of it's an auto jump strat, really, and you just keep that bubble in there. Because it's a low acceleration in the bubble. When you jump off of a wall, you sort of are just keeping that jump height for much longer than normal. So I said the bubble was like a low velocity, but technically when you jump off of a wall in the bubble, you still get your full bubble speed. But it's low velocity because no matter how fast you're going, when you go into that bubble, it will slow you down to a low speed, but you can jump off to become, get jump speed while still in that bubble. Oh gosh, missed that really quick. And we're almost also at the final boss here, which is going to be Larry. It's going to be an RNG boss. Oh gosh, this guy's chasing me. Uh-oh. I should be fine. We'll see. Okay, well, I got sniped. I was too worried about the... whoops. All right, we're getting it this time.
I believe.
Oh my gosh. All right, that guy's too far away now. He'll probably come up because down here there's a part with a bandage where I gotta go back and forth. Nope. All right, we're good. All right, anyways, this is Larry. I was too busy worrying about explaining Larry. With Larry, there's 3 worms. What we're gonna do, essentially a trick there. It didn't end up working. I paused at the wrong time. And so what you try to do is split up these 3 worms into 2 sections. And so that means that they can essentially jump independently of each other. The way that the game wants it to work is that one of these worms at a time can jump per, cycle, or AKA chance of jumping. And right there, that was like a 6-7 cycle. That was pretty good. But the fastest that you can do it when it happens like that is a 3 cycle. And what you can do is actually use that pause strat to basically separate 2 of the worms on a same cycle, so 2 can jump at the same time. Technically, you can do it with all 3 of the worms, but that becomes really precise in such a way that is not worth really attempting. And even if you do get it, you're saving like a half second, but you have to be really precise in order to even go for it. So it would really be the only reason to go for it is like, if I get a 1 cycle, I can PB by 1 second kind of thing. Like you're like, oh, I can get world record if I just gold the rest of the game. That'd be the only reason to really go for it. But a 2 cycle already saves like 3 seconds, so definitely that one's worth it. But that time just jumped a little bit, or paused a little bit late. This is End, which is 5 levels, all pretty long as well. And that's going to bring us really to the first boss, like the any percent boss is what I've been calling it, which is 1 part auto scroller, 1 part go as fast as you can, whatever the opposite of an auto scroller is. Here there's normally a key that we get, but we're going to do a little bit of a skip there. Tight jump, used auto jump to make sure that I actually get it. And then here we're at the boss. But yeah, this part is the auto scroller part. Dr. Fetus is like a playback of like a, I don't know, like the dev playing through it basically. And so you have to wait until something like that. I don't know how Flash works or whatever. This is a custom game engine, but from what I understand, it's like a Flash play back all the way until it gets into here, something like that. And then it'll shoot those missiles at each time. But we can go over these saw blades. The game wants you to go in between those 2 rows of saw blades so that Dr. Fetus is like shooting at you the whole time and makes it really tough. But we can jump over it. Fortunately, buttons give you invincibility, so we don't have to worry about those saw blades passing by us because we are standing on a button, which is really, really convenient because not only does it make that really easy, but it also saves us a few seconds because Dr. Fetus falls just immediately. Oh gosh. I'm supposed to do like a stop there. That way I can do this, but whatever. There's like this weird dev exit over here that we're going to use. Basically where the game end cutscene triggers is, it goes beyond the actual platform of where you're supposed to be at the end of the game. So we can use that by doing like a little wall jump and then use a little skip. I'll just call it a dev exit and then you win. If that wasn't there, the ending of it's like not too bad, but it does save a good 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Good chunk of time. And now we're in Cotton Alley, so now we get to play as Bandage Girl, which is cool. People always ask, Bandage Girl does control exactly the same as Meat Boy. There is no difference, which is nice. It would be really annoying if it was like slightly different, like going from like Mario to Luigi or something. I say that, but maybe it would be cool. I don't know. Now I'm debating whether or not that would have been cool. But maybe, yeah, who knows? There's a potential. Yeah, really depends on how it was like implemented. One thing about Cotton Alley that I didn't realize until maybe like a year ago is that each of these levels are actually kind of based off of like each chapter in chunks of 4. So like the first 4 levels were forest levels, the next 4 were hospital, and right now we're in like, this is like Salt Factory right here. And so these levels are basically kind of like hard versions of, all of each chapter as they went through. or as you've gone through the game. And you can even see that in the background. It's like a pink version, but in the end, it's the same. It is the same background as Salt Factory right here, and the same assets as well. So it's something that, like, I don't know, I didn't realize, and whenever I bring it up in my chat, nobody else has realized. So it doesn't...
I haven't myself either, actually. That's neat.
So, and then like right here, we're going to go into, this is the hell stuff. It still uses, like, it's not using the resources, so it still has, it looks like Cotton Alley all the way through, but, you know, it still has it like the eyeball here, and there's going to be that, the Moz, the black jaw with teeth, going to be here in this one. Whoops, got to be a little bit slower here. There we go. I believe the very last level on it does have the end, what's it called, background. So that's the one that's like, I guess Rapture doesn't have 4, it only has 3. Well, I guess it has 4, because this one's a Rapture background. Maybe it's Hell that only has 3. I don't know. Either way, it's a collection of all of the different chapters all the way through.
It's cool to see that, honestly.
Yeah. A lot of people have trouble with those orbs, and so whenever people ask me for advice, probably 75% of the time it is about those orbs, and that is one of my least favorite ones to get asked for advice on it. Not because it's a bad question, it's actually because if you're ever struggling on those, like you're going for the deathless achievements and you want it, my best advice is, dude, you just gotta practice and get good. There's nothing really else to do. Once you spend enough time on it, they become pretty straightforward, second nature. But
I was gonna say, that seems like it's just like one of those things where you just have to get good.
That is honestly the only thing. There's
not really any advice you can do. You just gotta like keep on doing it until you get there.
The only advice I really have is just make sure you have a strat. But once you have that, you know, for a lot of people hearing that, they'll just be like, I do have a strat, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like it's almost like condescending
at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just gotta keep on working on it.
Yeah,
I think I went to play this game like about 4 years ago. Last time I tried this out, I think there's like a little wiggle on top of those things to get past it. Kinda
nice.
works.
Yeah, as long as you have, like, sometimes it can. I don't know. They're tough. It's really difficult for me to like have any sort of advice on those, just because it really depends. And even what I'm doing is like, it's a strat, but it's very rarely the same thing every single time, because sometimes I'll be a little bit lower, a little bit higher, and I'm adjusting. I'm doing it, whatever, it's fine. This is like I'll do over here the normal way. Oh no, I'm dead now. I was doing a slow strat, but now here I'm gonna die to the fast strat. As I've said, I've been trying to get through the game deathless, and so as you can imagine, there's different strats. Okay, I'll just do it the slow way. The baby way. I clearly am not practiced enough at the fast way. But as you can imagine, there are completely different strats between the two. Between when you're trying to go fast and not die. When you're trying to not die, this is also definitely the hardest part of the run in Cotton Alley.
So once you get off your groove there, it's just over at that point. One of those things.
But in speedruns, honestly, I don't think that Cotton Alley is probably my favorite chapter in this, especially Light Cotton. I think it's just boom, boom, boom. There's like only one auto scroller in it. It's a lot of fun. Really enjoy Light Cotton. Dark Cotton's pretty cool, at least the first half. Here I messed up, and that's the reason why I have to wait. Okay, well, we get to play through it again. It's fine. Maybe I can do it faster this time. No waiting. Let's see. Let's go.
I believe.
There we go. We're good for now. There we go. Should be good. Yeah, we got it.
Hell
cool.
Yeah.
That level is just if you make one little mistake, you kind of, then it makes it to where it's just really slow. This next level, 7-7X, is a fun one because you just get this little fan and you shoot up and it's really tight. There is a strat where there's like one called a magic pixel where you just stand on it, you jump, and it'll shoot you all the way to the top, but not very consistent for speedruns compared to just getting good.
Also, I gotta say, I mentioned the fact that we played this game like 4 years ago, and I did like every single like normal level and like every single level like this too, and like it's always cool seeing just like how much you just breeze by everything. Because like a lot of these levels I took like many deaths on just to try and beat them once, and like you're just doing everything so fast and so easily.
I mean, definitely when I first played this 14 years ago, I definitely had got like 10,000 deaths on. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're dead. There, what you got to do is make sure you actually press the jump button long enough. But yeah, I died a ton of times. Everybody does. Well, I guess, but nowadays I can do it single-digit deaths pretty consistently. Obviously, in this I already have well more than that, but you know,
the game is definitely hard. That's for sure.
Yeah, hard game.
Just trying to emphasize that a little bit for chat, because like that's how it goes sometimes with some of these runs, you know.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, plus I don't know. I feel like if you have played this, even if you haven't played this game, I feel as though there's a lot of people that come to my chat that actually have never played this game before. They're just there for the conversation, you know, the chilling, the hanging,
the vibes.
And I feel like they understand it. Sometimes I do feel like as a runner that, I mean, sometimes you genuinely do take levels that are pretty hard and you make them easy, which is one of my favorite things with speedrunning, is when you actually make it well easier than casually. And this run has like a mixture of that, but then it also, you know, 90% of the run is definitely making it way harder than normal. But because, you know, I have a lot of time in the game, can make it look easy, and then also maybe it just is easy after that, like this level.
After a while it just comes muscle memory and stuff.
Exactly. This level is basically the same as like the light version, which, you know, a lot of these are, but this one most of the time, right, the dark levels are harder. I find that one easier. I find that it just lines up better, and I found that most people generally tend to agree that that one is easier. And this is another part of why the second half of Dark Cotton, like it's fine. It's just really slow. There's like a level like this where this takes like, I don't know, 35 seconds or so. Not a lot going on. Oh gosh. Just kind of wrangling these guys together. Didn't do a great job at it actually, but there we go, we're fine. And now we are, yeah, we're good. Just wait for those blocks to go away. This one is, I think, sort of one of these like notorious ones when you're playing through it casually. And here is an actual secret on this if you ever are. Whoa, okay, I should be fine. Most people, you don't let go of sprint like the entire game. You should do the top of it while sprint is not held. It makes it a lot easier if you are doing it without running, because you need to just sort of do that without stopping, and it makes it a lot easier because you don't have a lot of time. So if you just do that without having the sprint button held, you will have a much easier time. It's still difficult at first, but you know, it's going to make it a lot easier for you, especially if you're going for, again, the deathless achievements. That's one where people will normally like start on it because they find it to be the most difficult one. But truly, once you understand that, it becomes 10 times easier. All right, and that's the end of Cotton. So that means we're going to go back to Rapture, and that means we're going to go and play that first level. And now I get to answer that question you've been waiting for so long of, why didn't you play this level in the first place? Well, we want to get Glitch Girl, and Glitch Girl has this thing where if you get Glitch Girl on the same level as a warp zone, you actually don't have to replay the level to get the warp zone. We didn't get Glitch Girl, so that means that we are going to have to replay the level to get the warp zone, which is fine. Doing this route makes it like, I don't know, there's an extra map movement, I think, or maybe an extra load or something. So it's like a second longer, I think, or something like that. But if I were to have gotten Glitch Girl there, I would have saved about 8 seconds compared to doing... Well, actually, I guess it's less than that if I use Nyjah and you do this like clip strat, but that's kind of intense. So I don't do it. I just stick to just using Meat Boy on there. But anyways, wow. It saves a good chunk of time. So you do need to remember to get Glitch Girl. You do need to have beaten the boss. So basically we save that level for when we beat the boss. You could be like, well, why don't you just like skip over any level with warp zones? And in general, it's not worth it because you will have to do like a lot more map movement. But because that is the first level of the chapter, it ends up making a lot of sense to do that. It also technically increases your chance of getting Glitch Girl without having to grind or basically play a level over and over until Glitch Girl pops up. But that difference is like 1%, not all too big of a deal. But all of those combined, it does, in theory, save time on average. But the last time I was grinding 106 for a PB, it's supposed to be one in every like 25, 30 runs where I get that 5-1 Glitch Girl. I didn't get it a single time in probably like 100 attempts into there. So, you know, who knows if it really saves time. I really would say that I am very due to get one of those, but, you know, didn't show up this time, so who knows, maybe it never will. Cursed to never get the 5-1. What's that?
I gotta say, that warp zone right there is one of the hardest ones to me in a very long time, especially.
Oh, yeah, it's
so
just
difficult.
really long.
Yeah.
It is. Especially that second level where you have to do it twice. And especially like when I at this point with Meat Boy, I got the controls down pretty well. This game, like its whole difficulty is really it gives you like as precise controls as possible. And you sort of got to master them. And that level, you know, at this point, again, I don't think it's very difficult. But I also have way too much time in the game. When you're just playing it casually, yeah, oh my goodness, that one is really tough. Oh gosh. But yeah, back in Rapture, more long levels. This one, for the most part, just all Nyjah, which is going to be nice because there's going to be a lot of sort of open air areas where Nyjah's going to make it really easy to get some big skips. I got to make sure to press this button. There we go. Oh, whoops. Okay. Miscounted there in my number of dashes at the bottom. The risk of using Nyjah. Okay. All right, this is the time, I believe. Third tries the charm. I didn't press the button. No.
Oh no.
The thing about missing that button, and really a lot of things, is that the hitboxes in this game are actually pretty big. So whenever I miss something like that, it really does feel like it's my fault, because it really gives you as much of an opportunity as possible to hit the button. Here we go. Here, if you miss that, but I mean, it's the same thing as the light. Oh, I could have gone. Just being safe there. I have been doing, again, those deathless attempts way more recently than the speedrun attempts. And so I'm still have like this, it's like a fight in my brain of making myself play a little bit riskier. You know, it could be even the same thing, but same strat and everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was there at one point with one of the runs I do. Go between like categories where you complete from strats for like the same levels. It's like it's hard to like go between both of them and all.
Yeah, it's just like a whole mindset thing where you just gotta like be like, oh yeah, that's right. Time for me to go 100%.
Or in this case, 106%.
That's right. Okay, that was a good grind for Glitch Girl there on purpose. So that's good. This RNG has been okay so far. No! Okay, let me see. All right, nope.
Damn.
That pause was for no reason other than like what's the word? Trying to think of if I could get out of it.
Yeah. I've been there before.
All right. Well, anyways, there's actually where I was explaining the whole thing with the warp zone and Glitch Girl, there's a second warp zone in this, right? There's the dark warp zone that still has to pop up. That actually, in this chapter, is the biggest time save. It is like 18-20 seconds of time save. Whoops. So maybe that was all to get the 520X. The X at the end means dark. It means it's a dark level. But to get the 520X Glitch Girl, I think
possible.
that because of the death, it probably wouldn't end up saving really much time anymore. But who knows? It would still be... Oh, okay, we're fine. Gotta wait here. You actually cannot get there faster than... Oh, okay. There we go. Gotta do a little dash there. Naija doesn't jump high enough to... Oh, whoa. I was fine there. Oh, no, stop. Okay, there we go. No. Okay, hold up. What do I do? Okay. No. I messed up like 5 times. That's fine. It happens. There we go. Yeah, just do it like that this time. All right, here there's a little... There we go. There's that one place... Oh my gosh. I got so lucky. I missed my dash and then I immediately did like a backup. And then I was like, oh, that's not a real backup. That's just you trying to dash as quickly as possible. But we got there. But yeah, you have to like carry a rocket to hit something on the ground, which is much more difficult than it may appear. I'm going to do these last 3 levels as Meat Boy. The big reason is that I'm just more practiced. It is a little bit slower, but doing the other levels fast with Naija is just a little bit inconsistent, and it's not that much slower to switch with Meat Boy. It's like probably 2 seconds. Well, unless you do that. Which honestly, this level with Naija, this part of it, for whatever reason, is more inconsistent, I feel. You can use auto jump to make sure you climb and don't get it. All right, yeah, we still need Glitch Girl. If we get it right here, that would be, again, about 20 seconds of time save. If not, we gotta do a little grind.
Come on, Glitch Girl, I believe.
Could be huge. See, we're gonna do a little clip here so we don't have to go in there. Oh, no Glitch Girl.
Dang.
Oh well. But we still do have to get the final warp zone here. And just seeing how long it takes to get all the way back really gives you an idea of how much, because all of this is what I'm doing. If I were to get Glitch Girl, you would not have to do. So all of that potentially could go away, but the odds of getting it on that specific level is like 2% or something. It's not high at all. But has happened, has saved people's runs before. It is really cool. It is one thing about 106 that I really like is those little time saves that can happen just based off of RNG. They feel really cool when they happen. And they're rare enough that you can't really route it out, and they're not going to be common. So they just kind of pop up and it's a little treat, a little Christmas gift, birthday present. All right. I was going to say one more here, but I got to grind for Glitch Girl actually. But we will be at 100% from this. And because we have to grind for Glitch Girl here, we actually do get to use another bonus character. We're going to get to use Run Man. Ooh. Run Man has like a horizontal... Oh, I am missing something. 19, 20 bandages. What? Oh, did I not do Kid? We didn't do Kid. All right, let's go do Kid. I skipped that a while ago. This is casually probably the hardest thing in the game. But at this point, let's see. I should be able to do it deathless. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself.
I believe. Yeah, this was really hard. Gold, I want to be the guy, you know? It's just not an easy game.
Absolutely. I think that first one's pretty obvious. This is probably the notoriously difficult level. These middle two sections are very notoriously difficult. I do remember the first time I was playing through this, I definitely left my system on because you actually do not save in between levels. It took me like 30 minutes to get through the first level, and then this one after like an hour or so, I just quit. I was like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then this one is, I feel, pretty easy. At least casually. All right, there we go. Deathless. Here we go.
Nice.
Cool. All right, so now we're going to go here and we're going to play as Run Man. Not Commander Video. And so we're just going to beat this level over and over until... until Witch Girl shows up. There we go. That wasn't bad.
Oh, nice.
That is the... of places that you want to grind, this chapter is the one that you don't want to grind the most, because that does take like 3 seconds or so per attempt. And so that is the one where when you obviously don't want to grind at all, but that's pretty unlikely. But if you're going to grind or, not grind somewhere, you really do hope that it's Dark Rapture. Now we're going to go to Dark Hell. This is like the fastest split in the game, and it's going to have a lot of clips with Nyjah, which is great. Makes for a lot of fun. The levels are already pretty quick, but there's like even the levels that are pretty slow, generally like this one, Nyjah just makes really fast because Nyjah can just dash really quickly. Oh my gosh, please. No, okay. I was like the same amount of pixels away each time. There we go. Here we get to try to hover and get that. Nice, I got that one. That's the one that I normally struggle on getting, not the 4-3 one. Okay, dang it. And here's my favorite warp zone to get. Just gonna hover through and go through those. That was another one that I had to look up when playing it casually because yeah, I did not see that. Even though that one's really probably one of the less hidden ones, I just did not see it when playing through casually. I had to be like, where is it?
Just barely visible for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I get there normally, honestly, just like a really precise wall jump or something, or...
I'm sure you can get it with Meat Boy. I've never seen it. It's really not too bad. There's that shot that I did with Nyjah. Yeah, I guess to put it one way, you can't get everything. You can't do 106 with just Meat Boy. There's plenty of things that is just not possible. Even when using like some glitches, you're not going to be able to get everything. Messed up. I was about to change characters, and I remember I do this with Meat Boy. Whoops.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to like jump off of a wall, but then I thought that I was gonna not clear the wall, but I guess I did. Oh well, it happens.
Yeah.
The rest of this is done with Nyjah. I'm thinking until the last chapter, I think the rest of the game is. I think we just do Nyjah minus Dark End. Oh, that's fine. Oh, whoops. actually don't know which one is faster. So for those clips, again, I explained there's like a 1/3 chance that you get the clip. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got saved by that portal. Thank you. Oh whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why this level keeps kicking my butt. Okay. Keeps kicking my butt. I'm getting like some slides on these too. There we go. After you beat each level, it shows you like a little replay, and Glitch Girl can show up on it, and that always makes me a little bit like annoyed, because if you know, it shows a replay. Oh, nice. The eyeball disappeared. There's no benefit of Glitch Girl showing up on a replay. It just sort of showing you that like, hey, this can happen. It doesn't like still unlock it or anything. But we got 5 levels left. Hoping that Glitch Girl pops up.
That'll be time for announcement.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, in that case, yeah, if y'all know, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 is happening. It's happening in Minneapolis from July 6th to 13th. You have to volunteer or run the event, submit your application by March 31st, end of the month, or register to attend the event by May 26th. Use exclamation mark SGQ in Twitch chat, or visit gamesquid.com for more info.
Nice. I gotta get registered.
Yeah, I did mine the other day myself.
Confirm my work time off. Whoa.
Mind if I talk about one more event that's happening real quick?
Yeah, let's go. Whoa.
Hell yeah. Yeah, well, in that case, GDQ will be live at PAX East May 8th through 11th. Submissions are open for that until March 23rd, like 2 days from now. So yeah, visit submissions.gamesarquit.com to spin your runs. Except the runners will be providing an event badge as well. That's pretty huge, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we didn't get Glitch Girl without grinding, so we're just gonna dash into this lava until Bandage Girl looks glitched out, which is everyone's favorite part of the run.
And this attempt. Dang.
Yeah, I actually didn't check my completion percentage. Normally that's the last thing I do when even going into grind, but even so, it's like at worst a 1 in 20. I feel like this, even though technically the math doesn't work out like that as if they would be different, I really do feel like some chapters are just way more likely than others. I think it just has to do with how quickly you die. And then it tricks my brain into thinking that's the odds, but I don't know.
Hard to really say, I guess.
Yeah. Whenever I'm playing this game, I'm full of like gambler's fallacy as well. It's like, well, I had to grind on like the last 3, so that means this one should be, I don't have to grind for sure. Which, I don't know, they say it's a fallacy. It sounds like that should be just facts to me. Whoops.
Gambler's facts, I guess.
That's right. All right, we're gonna climb, or gonna climb up this one. Use that float. Okay, come on, please. No. There we go.
Come on, Nigel.
And do a little clip. Do a little clip. There we go. Okay. Salt Factory is an interesting one. These levels, there's a lot of levels that are like very clumsy with Nyjah. Probably the hardest split, I would say, to do with Nyjah for people like just getting used to it. Whereas a lot of them actually, it's pretty straightforward to save time when using Nyjah. Just because there's so many different skips, and even if you're slower on a few levels, it really adds up. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, I don't need to do that. I was thinking of doing, there's like a little grind. You can see there's like a warp zone here, but I'm not feeling that grind. Mostly because I had a death with Nyjah on this level when I was practicing, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I'm really not. I'm not willing to risk a little death there, because the odds of, because you can just grind there at that point and get Glitch Girl, but if you die, then you got to regrind it, and you can lose a little, like quite a lot of time actually going for that. There's a route where you do this really early on, actually. Right out, you do Dark Salt right after Dark Hospital. And you do it specifically so you can grind for Glitch Girl there. And so it saves you the 10 seconds or so that you, or potentially save you the 10 seconds of grinding. Whoa. But it's pretty high variance, so it can be routed out to where that's earlier. But technically, that is a slower route because we're going to use a strat later where we skipped unlocking Ogmo to do it last, because normally it takes about 10 seconds to actually unlock that warp zone. But we're able to do it in a way that takes about 1 second. There's some additional mapping that makes it, you don't save that full like 9 seconds, but I was supposed to change to Nyjah like one whole level ago. That's fine. There we go, a little clip there. That's not going to be the end of the clips, just got a few more. We got to jump through these saw blades though. Please, there we go. Got to remember always to say please to your game. You got to be polite to your speed game. The speed game knows, it listens. A lot of people will say things like, I hate this game. Why wouldn't you give me that kind of thing? The game's trying its best. Mind your manners. Always remember that. Whoa.
Can't be rude to one of your favorite games after all.
That's right. And even if it's not one of your favorite games, at least pretend. Because if you pretend like it's one of your favorite games, you know what I mean? Like, think of if you oh, okay. I messed up this strat, and so I'm still doing the same strat, but it can be inconsistent. When you do it right at the beginning, without touching the ground, it's consistent. But I accidentally messed it up. All right, here we're gonna go right below it. We got to do this ending really quickly. No. Okay. Nyjah. So each character has a different like gravity amount. So that means characters will like fall faster, and going into those like 1 block openings when you're falling, it's not the same with Nyjah as it is like with Meat Boy. With Meat Boy, you can fall pretty fast and still go in there, but with Nyjah, just a heavier character. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through here. Oh, all right, please. The worst part about not getting this level quickly isn't even the time loss, it's that it's bright yellow. Oh, there's Glitch Girl. Please. Okay,
on,
whatever. No Glitch Girl.
Damn.
Oh, there we go. No! Okay, it happens. I tried to dash when I actually I accidentally clipped that one of those little blocks over there, and so then you can't dash when you're on one of those blocks. Hello, okay, I'm about to just do this normal. You have to be a certain space off of the wall in order for that thing to work, but I honestly am not entirely sure why that wasn't working as much. I might have just not been the correct distance off, I don't know. But didn't do well on that one. We just wanted to spend as much time as possible on the bright yellow level.
It's my favorite color after all. Thank you for being there for so long.
Yeah, no problem. Just for you.
Yeah.
All right. And we are, well, actually, I guess we still got to grind unless Glitch Girl pops up on this level. We just did unlock, you might have seen it, but we're going to use him in a second. Got an upcoming film, actually, in like, what, 2 weeks? We're going to use them in order to unlock Ogmo. That's right, Steve, Minecraft Steve, Jack Black himself. Please, hello? Steve. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Oh, it must be my bindings. I must have a second button attached to it. I need to fix that. But anyways,
it's not Meat Boy.
Yeah, this is Ogmo double jump, similar to Kid with the double jump, but a little bit slower. I didn't know that Ogmo, when I first played this, I didn't know it was a Maddie Thorson character, or like I didn't know it wasn't just like a weird version of Meat Boy, but is a character from a Maddie Thorson Flash game. Well, maybe it was Game Maker, not Flash, but called Jumper. Pretty fun. It's like 20 years old at this point. We are going to do sort of a weird route here, but it's all about Glitch Girl. Whoa. But I explained a bit ago that, you know, in order to get Glitch Girl, it's random. It's the chance of Glitch Girl popping up is your chapter completion percentage over 2,000. So not super likely. So it's routed out accordingly. Technically, the fastest routing would be, you know, just doing 6-1x through 6-5x and Glitch Girl popping up there. Problem is there's like a 15% chance or less of that happening. Just not likely at all. So the way that it's routed out is to play 6-3x last, and that'll make a little bit more sense when we get there in a minute. But, you know, it would be great if in, like, as we're going through these rest of these that Glitch Girl does show up. I guess there's really, like, one more level where that would happen. But again, low odds, not very likely, just because there's a very low amount of levels, which is, in this case, 5. There are, you know, just like Light End, they are quite long, which for this game, again, is like 20-30 seconds. But there's also, again, like 300 levels, so, you know, when you take that into consideration, it is pretty long. When the average level time is, again, like 5. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. All right, so on this one, we can die pretty quickly here at the beginning of the level. And so this lets us grind for Glitch Girl. Now, again, if we have it 100%, it is a little bit faster, but what we would have to do is actually beat a level again. And I was just explaining, end levels are really long. Okay, thank you. Let's just be careful. Just jump like a split second early. That's fine. But anyways, what was I even saying? Yeah, you can, if you were to get 100%, even though the odds of you doing it, you're going to have to play an extra level. And so we have worse odds. It's like 1 in 25 that Glitch Girl shows up while just playing through normally. But there's the level that you end up grinding in order to get it, it's like 3-4 seconds of death, and the level takes about 22 seconds to beat. So it ends up just making the most sense to grind on this level. The only downside of that is this level is not like the easiest of the chapter. The other level that's you can really grind with, which is 6-2, a light level. Again, it's just long, but it is a lot easier than 6-3x. But now we should be at 105%, have everything but this here final boss. This is a remixed, more difficult version of the any percent version of Dr. Fetus. There's just more saw blades all over the place. In general, it actually is much more difficult on both sides of things. This one and then the other one. I would say that, like, in Light Fetus, it is pretty unlikely. I almost never die on it. On these, it's really, it can happen. In any percent, when you get to Dr. Fetus without, you know, on pace, you basically are like, yeah, I got this. This is it. We did it. I think there's been one time, maybe twice, of any time in any category. I've been on PB pace and lost it in light fetus, but in dark fetus, it's absolutely possible. It's a lot more difficult overall. But we're gonna get first try here.
I believe.
Watch out for this guy. All right. Time's coming up here in like 2 seconds and time.
GG.
That's 106%. Let me double check and make sure I got it. Let me actually chat. Do we want to guess how many deaths I got?
I'm so down.
What do you think?
I'm gonna guess a solid. You had to do a lot of like crying earlier. I'd say solid. Actually, probably not 106. Probably pretty close.
106. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 125.
Ooh.
I'll give like 10 seconds, a little bit. Just I'll give some shout outs to the Meat Boy community, all of that. 106 is a hard run, for sure, but any percent is really quite straightforward. It is a difficult run. Obviously, it's a difficult game, but it is one that I absolutely highly recommend checking out just as a speed run. Just because there's a lot of like the movement is really tight, which means that it can be one, really rewarding, but two, each run you're just going to end up being faster. So it's really a lot of fun to do. So let's go and look to see here. 135. Ooh. 135. I'm looking in chat and I'm seeing some that are close. 133 is pretty close, but not quite. But congrats being that close. 135 is, I don't remember if I said out loud, but I was thinking of 125.
You said, I think 120. Yeah, 125. Yeah.
It was something. Okay, I did say it out loud. I wasn't sure. I'm here yapping, never remembering what I'm saying. But yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Wait, hold on. This is 105%.
It does?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay, what was it? I did this one.
I did this one. Things. Can't do most of the things.
I did. It's Salt Factory. Here's one thing here's one thing. Have I ever done this before? Yeah. Yes. Yes. How often do I do it? Does it happen often? Here's the other one. Yes, it does happen often. Has it ever happened on PB Pace? No, it has not happened on PB Pace. Fortunately.
That's good, at least. Oh, it's glitch control here. Okay.
Yes. So here's a little thing as well. You actually can skip like 3 or 4 either levels or bandages, and it will still say 106 at the end. That obviously is not like you have to do everything. The goal is not to get it to say 106 at the end of the game, you know? The goal is to do everything, which is 106%. But if you forget those things, you're fine, unless it's a glitch level. And then it'll like expose you and say, hey, you forgot because you're being a silly goose. Yeah, I would say that happens one every like 20 runs that I do. I just forget that I didn't get glitch girl.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got 143. Did anyone guess 143?
I'm gonna scroll up. Let's see. So we got 147. 147.
Yeah. You were all close.
Good guesses, chat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you enjoy somebody who's like a little bit of a, sometimes forgets to get stuff in their 100% speedruns, go check me out at twitch.tv/Redberg. Yeah, that won't be the last time you'll see me forget something.
It's a hard run. It's fine.
I was even like, there was the route where I could have just like grinded it then. I was like, no, never mind. I don't want to do that. And then I just forgot. But yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And that being said, welcome back to Do All the Things, the hotfix show all about harmsman speedruns and completionist categories in general. Well, in the second, we have one of my favorite games of all time, Wario Land 4. But first, I gotta read a few announcements here because just that time, But yeah, if y'all are liking the hotfix and want to support hotfix in general, check out the 2024 season 4 shirt at theAE.com/GDQ. They're on sale for only a couple more days until March 24th, so get them fast, get them now. If you're thinking about it, now is the time for sure. But yeah, also if you're just liking the hotfix too, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support GDQ Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel, get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and have other subscribers during our replays as well. Very cool stuff. That being said, though, I'm tired of waiting. Let's get to it. What's up, Soap?
Hey, I'm Soap Agent. I run a lot of Wario games. I wouldn't call myself like a top tier runner of this game, but I've put some time into the 100% category, and I do hold the world record for it. I also beat another run that's 100% with zips. We're gonna not do zips in this run because I don't like doing them. They just make the run less entertaining for me, but basically it's just a glitch that lets you skip certain sections. But overall, the Wario Land 400% run is just, you do every level and you get all the things that you need to normally beat the game, as well as these collectibles called CDs or discs. It's just, there's one on each level and it gives you it's not really a song, but like a soundscape of sorts.
Kind of song is weird.
Yeah, it's a sound design of sorts. So that's one of the requirements that's different than any percent, and the other is that we have to get gold crowns on every level. I guess I can just show the interface what it looks like. This is a completed file, but all of these levels have gold crowns next to their best score, and that just means that I got 10,000 or more coins in the level. So we have to go out of our way to get a few extra collectibles and like gems and diamonds and stuff. And that's kind of what makes the 100% run different. And I like it because it's neat. You get to go into a lot of different rooms that you wouldn't in any percent. But I'm ready to get started. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. We're also going to do these soft resets constantly throughout the run because the game autosaves at a lot of points, like before it shows you a cutscene, so we can just soft reset as soon as it saves and not watch that cutscene.
Yeah, this game has a lot of...
so the first level is all of...
the first game has a lot of forms of movement in general. And like we'll be doing that a lot here. It's all about momentum at the end of the day. So like we're holding the R button a lot, just called an R dash. We're holding long enough. We do able to go through and do like a full on head bash along the way too. You can also do like a short head bash pressing B. That's how we move in this game most of the time. It's really cool.
Yeah, so you do have to slow down in some sections because like you need to kill enemies or do certain things, but ideally, we want to maximize the amount of time we have this R- state where like we have the speed echoes behind us. So you can see I'm just killing a lot of enemies because Hall of Hieroglyphs, the first level, it's a tutorial level and it doesn't really have a whole lot of extra stuff in it. So our options are either to basically kill every enemy and be really slow, or kill most of the enemies while taking advantage of a kind of hidden feature where if your health bar is full and you also have like the secondary health bar full, then you get extra coins from enemies. Normally they drop these little red orbs that if you get 8 of them, they give you a heart, but if you already have 8 hearts, then it doesn't give you a heart because there's no need to, so instead it just gives you a coin bonus, basically. So we have enough coins here. I was actually a little bit worried about this because this is kind of the hardest level if you can't take damage or anything. But that's good.
Very nice.
And we're out of here. We have to hit this frog switch and leave the portal, and that's how it goes for every level, although usually the frog switch is more like halfway through the level. And then we have our first boss. We're going to do a couple more soft resets. For the bosses, technically you have to beat them within a certain time limit, although with a speedrun, that's not really a concern. Also, Spoiled Rotten doesn't have that time limit at all. It has a time limit, but there's no treasures that you get from beating this boss. We're going to try to do a strat here to just make him always face the wrong way. Okay, I didn't quite get it. We might still be able to do it, though. It's kind kind of hard if you don't get the setup. Yeah, that's embarrassing, but we can make this work. And we can soft reset as soon as the boss is dead, as soon as the health bar is gone.
Love this level, by the way. Oh my god, Crescent Moon Village. So good.
Yeah. It's a bit of a tough level. It's in the probably hardest passage of the game, Sapphire Passage.
Oh, yeah.
You can choose whichever level you want to do, and speedrunners generally just go like to the left or clockwise because that's where the harder stages tend to be. I'm gonna get this diamond early. You can see these like block outlines that you would normally hit that green switch block to hit, but you can just do a dash jump off that little rock outcrop there. And then here we're gonna see an enemy bounce, a mid-air enemy bounce to be specific. You can just throw enemies in midair and jump as soon as possible, and that allows you to interact with it as soon as it starts falling down, and you can get a lot of height that way and do some little skips. Here's another kind of funny skip. You can just throw this enemy at a switch block that's above the screen there. Normally you'd have to go all the way around and up the ladder. We're gonna have to take damage from that enemy later, but that doesn't really matter because we have enough coins and hearts to do so. Taking damage is kind of annoying because enemies do different amounts of damage. Okay, this is awkward. Okay, we got it out of the way. But yeah, so you lose coins if you take damage from enemies, but you can get them back. They just like fall on the ground. So as long as you're not like repeatedly taking damage or, you know, losing your progress, then you can probably recover from it. With the exception of the first level, because that makes you lose your secondary health bar bonus. We just made a little detour there to get that diamond. We're gonna see a lot of just like diamonds in this run overall. We're not getting all of them because some of them are very slow to get, but they're a great source of money if they're not slow because they give you 1,000, which is twice as much as these chests give you, and it's worth, you know, 10 of those red gems that give you 100. So if they're in a convenient spot, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, the goal of each level in this category is to get just a bit under 10,000 like before the end, because like, you know, if you have like full hearts, you get like 50 like per heart or so.
Yeah, 50 per heart. So you need 9,600 if you have full health. I'm not going to have full health in this level because there's not quite enough hearts for that, but I'll probably end up with like 2 below full health, so I'll need 9,700.
Yeah, so getting a diamond is basically just like 1/10 of like what you need to get 100% level usually.
Yeah. Yeah, we're already good on coins because there's a heart that we're going to get here, so we don't need to get anything extra at this point. There's like 150 coins that you can get at the end here in case you like took extra damage or something from the blocks at the bottom of this room, and also the one that I broke just like 5 seconds ago. You can see it very quickly there, like when I move, but I did have a gold crown there, and obviously like if you're counting at the end of the level, you can tell also. If I do end up having to redo a level, that's gonna kind of suck, but it's part of the run, I guess. This level actually has a recent reroute that I did like a week ago. I found that it's about 10 seconds faster to do a different diamond. I used to go to like a bonus room where you kill a bunch of enemies, and that gives you 1,800 coins, whereas the diamond only gives you 1,000. It makes the route a lot tighter, but not too worried about it. This level's gimmick is mostly these flying carpets. They follow you in the horizontal direction, and they also will rise up and then slowly fall back down when you jump off them. Oops.
I know in general, this level has a lot of like slower diamonds to get, so like I guess the reroute like you mentioned is pretty huge, I would say, for this one in particular.
Yeah, because like a lot of them are hidden behind carpets or something. So
Yeah, and
carpets are very slow to use unless you have to use them.
a lot of very slow horizontal speed in those carpets, but they are necessary for level. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are also necessary in this level for getting the CD, unfortunately, but there's some very convenient diamonds right along the way to the CD, so that's nice. There's actually like 3,000 money or something in the last room of the level. There's an advanced enemy bounce you can do here where you have to like crouch and avoid taking damage from, or like getting hit by these ghosts that shoot green projectiles at you. It's very difficult, and it also means you miss out on those 600 coins there. So I personally don't go for it. So we're gonna get this diamond. I didn't used to do this, but it's very convenient. You don't have to ride the carpet for very long in order to get across there. And then we just have to swim in the water for the rest of this room until we get to this chest.
Imagine it's so convenient for this category that every single one of those chests that you need to grab anyways just gives you like a free 500.
Yeah. There's some cool tech you can do with chests because you can like stand on them before you collect the jewel piece that's in them, but doing anything that would like help with that, like jumping off them or taking a dash off them, is kind of slow because then you miss out on the coins. So unfortunately there's a little bit less tech in the 100% run, at least as far as those chests go, but we'll see a couple of like box dashes still. Now we have Fiery Cavern. This level is a little difficult because of all these lava pillars here. There's a lot of damage that I'm going to be taking, and I kind of planned for it because there's not a whole lot of money in this like first little bit of the level. So I kind of just say, okay, I'm not getting any money at all because I'm just going to take damage and lose all of it anyway.
That's always a big strategy for this level, just to take the damage to go through the lava pillar rather than just waiting around for them. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but like there's only so much you can do, honestly.
Yeah, as soon as I get that first chest though, I'm going to avoid some damage. I did take a little bit of extra damage that I didn't need to, but that's okay. There's not a deficit of hearts in this level. We have to go here for a chest, and there's also a diamond over here.
I didn't really even just do that to get across there.
I think that's the intended way to get across, and you're like intended to also break that block, which is a blue block, even though it's brown.
Yeah, I think I just like...
But you can just cancel
I think I
it.
overcomplicated there when I did all diamonds for this. That's all I know.
Well, there's a strat that you have to do in hard because there's an enemy there. So it makes sense to do that strat.
Mm-hmm.
But in normal, there's nothing in your way, so you can just run across like the game expects you to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That was the hard mode strat, actually. Because like you have to like go above on those platforms, like try and keep momentum, and it's really hard.
It is really hard. That's why I don't go for it. So I guess obviously the level's an ice level now. It was Fiery Cavern, but then when we hit the frog switch, it has this whole gimmick where everything is just ice or snow.
Just such a cool gimmick.
And those like, I don't know what the, I guess like Sasquatch enemies, they turn into abominable snowmen or yetis instead.
Yeah, they turn into the Yeti.com, if you will.
True. I don't think the Sasquatches appear in any other levels, but these Yetis appear in a couple.
Yeah, they're also in Fire Below Fridge as well. I remember like I ran this game GDQ 2020 online, and like I literally asked for like the Yeti.com bits. Just, like the host actually read out, just like red turned this entire level while I was going through it. It's really funny.
We're just gonna do a crouch jump over that little ice projectile. If you get hit by that, then you just get sent backwards and you can't do anything about it until you hit a wall. It's pretty annoying. Like that. We have plenty of money in this level. I kind of got a couple of safety like enemies just in case.
Very nice.
Now we have Hotel Horror, which is exactly what it sounds like. We do a route in this where you just kind of go backwards through the level because you can open it up with an enemy bounce. First, we're going to go into this room for a diamond because it's right here. And then we're going to carry this enemy to the start of the level. And this is a part of the level that you're expected to take at the end. Because like you can just get zombified and fall through all those platforms, but we're just going to get the key early and also go through this pipe up here, which has 2 diamonds in it. Doing this level backwards is faster in basically every category as far as I know.
So it's really interesting.
Just because you do a little bit less backtracking.
Yeah, it's also really interesting that this particular pipe has like this gimmick in here with like the teleport and like sections of the level, which it doesn't appear in any other part of the game. It's just only in that pipe.
Yeah, it makes me think of like the Warped Void in Wario Land 3, which has those everywhere.
Yeah, it's just very. Well, you know, I think there's also one other pipe that has that too, maybe. But either way, it's like there's just so many cool low mechanics with that in this game. It makes it so cool.
Yeah, I guess I didn't touch on it, but there's like a little cheese strat you can do in that pipe where you just get a super ground pound by falling into the warp tile. Normally you'd be expected to eat an apple and get fat because that allows you to break blue blocks without having a super ground pound. But that's slower because reactions in general are just slow in this game. You don't want to get hit by any sort of like transformation if you can help it. I did a ground pound there on purpose just to kind of stop the Yeti in its spot. You can do that pipe without the ground pound, but it makes it a lot more tricky. You have to get like very tight jumps. And now we're just gonna hit the frog switch here. There's this little enemy bounce that you can do to also skip getting fat, just like in the pipe, I guess.
I love getting zombified there also skips a decent portion of the rest of the level too. So just getting out of here really. It's so nice.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if that's really how you're supposed to do that. Like, if you're really meant to use that for the escape, or if it's supposed to be like a hindrance, like, oh, you got zombified, so now you have to do a bunch of extra stuff. Haha.
I think it's supposed to be like that, yeah. Like, you're not supposed to be able to use it to like just kind of get out of there faster. It's just there to be like, oh no, now you're floor lower. How are you gonna get back? How are you gonna get back there? Oh no, you know.
Well, it's cool that we can just laugh in the face of that. Now we have our first regular boss. Spoiled Rotten is kind of just a tutorial boss and doesn't really count for like the treasures that you get. You'll see in this room we have some chests in the back. So basically all that means is that we have to beat the boss within a certain time limit. I think like once you reach a minute or something, the chests start disappearing, but we have plenty of time. I'm not worried at all. There's a couple of fast hits you can do on Catbat here. I missed that one. I had to back out of it. I jumped a little late there. You can like do a dash jump off this platform and hit him as he's going down to summon a wave. It's a little bit technical. You have to kind of time it based on the boss's movement. I think that was early.
Yeah, having to do like the right to left rather than left to right. It's just a lot harder too as well. But you have some like a 2 frame.
Yeah, I don't know if like the timing is any different or what. Like, you know, this doesn't happen usually, ideally at least.
Yeah, I think it's all the same timing. It's just like muscle memory's gonna be different. You have to do it from this side instead.
Yeah, so that's what happens if you like actually hit him. He just like gets knocked back and gives you an extra projectile.
Yeah, it's like either way, it's a 2 frame window.
He's also higher, so you can't do the early hit. Anyway, now we're in the second phase, I guess. We just kind of stay on top of this guy by holding A to bounce on him and just constantly ground pounding.
It's a matter of keeping the rhythm here. Nothing more than that, thankfully.
Yeah. And that's the entire Sapphire Passage. Now we have Topaz Passage, which is more of like a toy-themed world, or passage, I guess. So this one is Toy Block Tower. We have a bunch of like building and like other toy things in this level. These triangles just open these triangle doors. We're gonna skip this one for now. We'll come back to it during the escape. There's a heart chest in here. We don't need the hearts really, but it gives us 500 coins, and there's also 5 red gems on top of the chest, so it's basically a diamond. Or actually, no, that's a different one. But we still get it because it's fast and it's 500 coins at least. And we take this little bonus area just to get some more coins right there.
That diamond's definitely very tricky.
Made a little mistake there. I missed some coins. I wanted to get those. That's like 200, which is nice to have. I also... Okay. I can't go back for those, I don't think. Oh, I can. Okay. I thought those were regular blocks. Okay.
Yeah, thankfully it doesn't cut you off.
Good thing I checked.
I think
We're going to do a little funny fire strat here just to get extinguished as fast as possible, and we can reuse this fire to just go through this room as quickly as we can.
yeah, if I recall correctly, it takes them like 1 second to do exactly what's up there right there. Just like hit the top of the wall and then go back a little bit. Something like that.
We're also doing this pipe here. This one might not be the fastest one to do, but there's not a whole lot in this level, honestly, without going super out of your way. I guess I never explained, these cap blocks here just reappear whenever you reload the room, as opposed to the regular blocks that you can break that are just gone forever until you like redo the entire level. Now we are on the escape. This one takes us through some entirely different rooms. I'm a little concerned about my coin count, but there are some backups at the end of this level, so I should be fine.
This part also scares me because if you fall down here, you can't get back up to this part of the level at all unless you like just redo the whole level.
Yeah, there are some kind of scary parts of this run where, like, if you miss a jump or something, you might have to say goodbye to your run because, like, you've just lost a bunch of time with losing money or whatever.
Yeah, where that diamond was a second ago is where a chest is in hard mode, and I remember losing runs because I just fall down there sometimes in complete accident.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're like a little bit short here, but that's fine. There's some coins in this last room with the last chest in it. Ideally, we wouldn't have to do this because it's a little slow to go to the other half of this room, but it's fine. We just need 2 of these coins here.
You're right there and do a little precise lamp with the wall, just do a beach-ass jump, just to get right into the gap there without losing any momentum at all.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have to break one of those blocks, and that's slightly slower.
And now here's one of the wildest
pretty
levels
nice.
in the run. We're playing basically a board game while also doing a platforming level at the same time. Shouts to the big board.
Yeah, big board is cool. Like, the gimmick is cool, although it's a little bit of a iffy for speedruns just because you can lose a lot of time.
It's pretty neat, 8% for sure.
We're so far so good on the numbers.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, 8% because you kind of just like go through a lot of it and like ignore the board until right at the very end where you can't really ignore it. But this category, you do need to get like some of the things they tell you to get that's very like above some of the like dice rollers here.
Yeah. There are a couple of things that we just don't do. Like, there was one where you can get set on fire to get a diamond, but that's pretty slow compared to some of the other things we can get. I went to the right here just to reload one of these enemies. Like, it was like right off screen as soon as you reach where that dice block is, so we want to respawn it so we can get all these coins. And there's also a diamond down there, so a pretty nice chunk of money from that.
It's weird how creepy his background screen is right here. Also, there are diamonds too in the dice rollers, so like you have on the board itself, so you have to like get that along the way too, which is another thing you have to route in. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not that bad though. It's better than going out of your way for a diamond because you have to interact with the dice blocks anyway. That was one of the things I was scared about, was missing the 4 there to get flattened, because that's what you have to do to get the CD, and if you miss that, then you'll have to do the entire level again. Also, we don't actually care about what happens on that dice block, we just run through here and kill that enemy for the escape. And now we're on the escape, and we have to get a goal. So in this next room, you can see there's a dice block, but this one doesn't disappear when you hit the number. It keeps going, and we have to get to the end of this roulette here.
Yeah, you can time hitting like the same number multiple times in a row with the roulette as well. It's something you can do, but it's kind of tight to do that, and I'm not sure if it's like the best thing to do in 100% in particular. But I don't know.
You could probably have a better route than I do with this, but I've already messed it up, and we're having to do different numbers, so I guess you can see a couple of them. I'm trying to make sure that these outline blocks stay outlined so that the escape is a little bit faster. And we also got the last board diamond, and we should be good on coins. This escape kind of eludes me, like I kind of forget which rooms come after which other ones, because going through them backwards is a little weird when like everything is different about them.
I never get that. Like the background's all the same the entire time. Like somehow just blends together.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the big board. That was a little harder to run, and it's over now, so that's good. We now have Doodle Woods, which has, I guess it's not really a route-breaking thing, but you can lose a lot of time if you miss it. There's just a bounce off an enemy that gets spawned, and if you miss that, then you lose an entire cycle and have to wait like 15 seconds or something.
Oh, you do that strat later on. Yeah, that one's ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't technically have to. We could get a different diamond, which maybe loses like 5 seconds or something. I haven't actually properly timed it. That's just based on like split times if I do fail it.
It's just risky take sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for what I usually do, so hopefully it goes well. I'm not too worried. Before we see that, we're gonna go into a purple pipe at the end of this little running segment here. I'm gonna try to take damage from these pencils. Okay, I missed it because those pencils have a really weird hitbox. And now we have this pipe. The gimmick is just that there's these foreground tiles that disappear when you're further away, but they appear when you're actually on the semi-solids that are in there, so you have to just do some jumps and make sure that you know where you're going.
You're supposed to...
I have a couple of... Go ahead.
You're supposed to like memorize it and stuff and go over it, but we already know what to do there, so it's not a big deal. Very nice.
We're in. And now we're on the escape, which is sort of similar to Toad Block Tower, just takes us through some unfamiliar rooms. It's kind of cool when the levels kind of shake it up a little bit like that. These little accordion walls here don't open until the escape. And now we have these vertical rooms to go through. Nice little bounce off that pig there. And another one. There's a diamond through here. I'm going to do a safe strat here. Rolling is a little bit slower than running at full speed, but okay. Well, I missed it anyway because that was funny. So I guess we're going to go for the diamond that I was talking about that I don't normally do. All we're doing here is just using this pig to get back up onto this platform while the crayon is retracted. If that crayon is not in that spot, then we can't hit that block with a ground pound. The intended way to do that is to get fat and break it that way, but that's a lot slower.
Yeah, it just takes so long to get back up here when that happens. So it's just not worth the time at all.
And then we're going to use this pig again. If you crouch, you let go of enemies. And these pigs have different hitboxes when they're stunned versus when they're like in their ballerina movement. So normally you have to wait for the pig to wake back up before you can bounce up to those red coins, but you can also just hit it against the wall and then bounce off it while it's like bounced off the wall because it's a little bit higher. That's a neat little strat.
Skyrim's kind of cool because
And despite the game's best efforts, we have enough coins.
thankfully. I'd say Skyrim's kind of cool because you do a lot of stuff you would do in like other categories beyond just like normal 80% zipless, like during this category too. It's pretty sick. Because like a lot of
Yeah, because like some of those diamonds are chests and other difficulties.
yeah, exactly. So you just do like so much more, like while still having like the familiar chest locations and other things like that. It's so cool. This game rules.
I didn't need to grab those hearts, but I guess safety is cool. I also grabbed this chest early just so I have a better idea of my coin count. I guess technically I could just subtract 500, but that's hard to do mentally. This level's gimmick is just that you're racing these dominoes, and additionally there's these coins that appear while the dominoes are active, but as soon as you reach the end, whether you lose or win, the coins just disappear, like they become outlines again. So we want to get some of these coins while the dominoes are still running. We're going in the side room, and I killed that enemy there just in advance because we're already going to the store. And he gets in the way during the escape, so we don't want that. This and the next room have a bunch of red coins that we don't really need all of these. I'm going to grab the convenient ones. Enter that room while facing left just so that you can land on that raised platform. It saves a slight amount of time. And also there's a damage boost there just to get to a higher platform. You do lose out on the 100 coins of damage that you take, but it doesn't really matter because there's enough coins in this level.
Overall worth it.
Yeah. Now we just fall down here and go to the start of this room. If you don't beat those dominoes, then you don't have that shortcut unlocked, so it's a good incentive. Now we have to roll through here to get this chest, and there's also a gem here I'm going to get just in case. I don't think I need it. I know I have enough coins, but you never know.
Better be safe with a category like this, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that coin, you know, you just have to do one jump to get it. It's not that bad. I'm calling them coins. They're technically gems, and coins are the things that come from enemies and blocks, but the same difference. There's all these spinies in this room. We can kill a couple of them from below like that. this one in particular like wakes up before we get a chance to reach it, so it's very convenient. I wanted to grab that rock, but it doesn't really matter. We don't need it a whole lot. I just need to not take too much damage from these guys, because that's going to be very slow.
Nice.
Okay, we're good.
A little scary, but we're good.
I'm not used to doing that like the any percent way where you don't grab the rock. I'm used to just grabbing the rock because it means you get some free coins from just killing all those guys. Now we have Aerodent, which is a Topaz boss. With this boss, there's this strat you can do to just keep him on screen and like in his attackable phase. It's very difficult, but I'm going to try to get a 1 round if I can. If you fail it, then you lose like 15 seconds from having to get him back into the attackable phase again. We also jump into him at the very start there just so he gets to the top of the screen faster. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Basically, you have to kind of time and position your dashes so that it lines up with the mouse or the rat, but not the bear. Because hitting the bear from below will make it rise up, which means that it's going to go back to the top of the screen.
And the hardest part too is that if you do actually hit the teddy bear in particular, the timing comes a little bit different as well. So you have to like jump just slightly like earlier rather than like the time you're used to when it's like the very bottom.
Yeah. I was hoping to get a 2 round, if not a 1 round, but that's okay. We can just keep hitting this guy. We have plenty of time on the in-game timer.
It happens. This is the hardest boss in the room, like by far, honestly.
Yeah. This one is just like a very major time loss if you don't get it exactly right. And then Kappa is also pretty difficult.
Yeah.
The rest of the bosses aren't too bad.
Like Kappa, like that one there, Aerodent, Kappa, and also the final boss, like they're all just really hard. Very.
Yeah, I guess Diva is like very... I don't even play Diva at a top level. I just try to get some of the strats, but not like, you know, an exact choreography for the fight, I guess, because it's so hard. This is Curious Factory. It features these little rotating platforms. There's other ones also that just like move constantly and not while you're on them. We're gonna go in here for a purple pipe. There's a little bit of a detriment to going into this pipe, and that's that the like smashers in this next section just all load at once. So you kind of can't do anything about them. They just all come down at once like that. Well, that's okay. It's worth the diamond. The goal of this particular level route is just to skip diamond during the escape. That's very slow. You have to get flattened and then go all the way into the next room and go and take the diamond and get unflattened. So we're going to kill just those 2 enemies there. It puts us just over the edge for this route. And then there's this room down here. It's a little scary because it has these platforms that I mentioned that are constantly moving. If you fall down, obviously you lose a lot of progress. You have to jump all the way back up the platforms. There's all these gems though, and a diamond at the top, so it's very worth it.
There's a chest out here also in hard mode, and just doing this normally without having like wait for the platforms is hard enough, but having to wait as well too,
Yeah.
and also have to jump afterwards, it's very nerve-wracking.
The very slow diamond that I mentioned where you have to get flattened, I think that's also a chest in hard mode. I'm pretty certain it is in S hard, which is the secret 3rd difficulty.
Yeah. Pretty sure it is, yeah. All I know is that having this happen to you in 8% is just actually the worst thing ever, because you lose 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it wastes like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But you do have to do this in 100% because this is where the CD is. And it's fine. It's a nice time to get water or something.
Good time to relax.
Remember to stay hydrated.
Drink a water, Chad. Do it right now, or else.
So now that we've done that, we just have to go down here, and there's more moving platforms that we have to jump across. And at the end of this is another diamond. If you fall down here, it doesn't matter in any percent because the chest is on that side, but ideally, in 100% you want to get that diamond. I didn't mean to run at full speed there, but that's fine. We just have to kill 2 of these spike ball enemies and we'll have enough coins. Because they give you 100 or 200 each, which is a lot. This is Toxic Landfill. It's what it sounds like. This level actually has a lot of stuff in it, but we don't need very much of it. Like, you can get 25,000 or something ridiculous in this level.
Yeah, there's a lot of diamonds
but
here.
we only need a few diamonds.
Like, whenever I had, like, my funny all diamonds category for this, like, this is, like, one of the longest levels because there's just so much to get in it. lot of, like...
I think 40 below fridge, the next level also has a lot. I think this one has more.
I think so, yeah. They both have just a lot of things to get in them, to say the least.
Yeah, like there's a side room over there that I'm not going to go to. There was also a side room earlier in like the second room. You can go up and get, I think, 2 diamonds from a purple pipe or something, but we just don't need to. It's so slow because you have to like go down and then back up and like use Puffy Wario, which is slow.
Also a side room back where you got that chest as well. Just get through a bunch of blocks there.
Yeah, there's a heart chest there and also 2 more diamonds in a different side room. There's also a diamond in that room where I like jumped across with the monkey. But there's just a lot of stuff in this level that we do not need. Oh, I missed the swag strat where you break the block right before the apple hits it.
I saw the vision. It would have been so
That's fine
cool.
though. It's a cool strat. You just have to break 2 of those blocks and it works.
Dang, that's so worth it to go for his room in this category. Oh my gosh, he got so much money there.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there. It's like 1,800 or something.
Sheesh.
There's a room very similar to that in Arabian Night, the second level that I did. But I just determined that it was slightly slower, even though it gives you more money, because you don't need the extra money that you get from it. Also, I don't have enough speed to go through this. That's fine, though. Some people say that's the hardest CD to find. I kind of believe it.
I agree.
I don't know if I found that on my own. I think I used a map.
Yeah, I think a lot of time when people like ask me about like how they get like all the C's in this game or like just how to do everything in the game, like that's one where they always miss it every single time. It's understandable.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like there's a more obvious like secret area in that room where you can actually see that there's something there, but with a CD you can't. You have to just try breaking every single stair block there. There's a room to the right here, which literally just has a heart. I don't really know what the point of it is, other than like reloading the enemies, I guess, if you kill them on accident.
I think that's really it, yeah, because like it's just nothing there otherwise for whatever reason. I don't know why.
And I don't think it has anything in hard or super hard. It's just a heart.
That's just it. Simple as that.
Oops, I did not mean to ground pound. That's fine. Just to be safe, I got some coins from the blocks there, because sometimes I end up like short and I don't really know why. But we had plenty there, so that's good. This is 40 below fridge. It's another level with some ice physics in it. The entire level isn't ice physics, not like Super Mario World or something. There's just certain platforms that are pretty obviously icy. We're gonna not kill this Yeti because we're gonna try to use him for a sequence break later.
Oh, I see.
Basically, at the very end of the escape, you have to get a CD, but in order to get the CD, normally you'd have to break a block, then go all the way through a loop. And then, like, you just have wasted like 45 seconds or something, if not more.
That's what I thought you're doing. Yeah, that's really cool. You can just kind of skip that whole loop there.
So I only got one of the diamonds in this room. There's another one up here that we get to say hi to, and there's also a purple pipe that we don't need. Also, I entered this room facing the wrong way, so I can't go for the cool cycle skip. That's fine,
Cycle skip is so hard. I've run this game for years. I think we've only gone a handful of times right there for that snowball.
That's a very rare case of a box dash because we can just get the coin coming back if we don't get it the first time. Also, I didn't mean to roll there, but you kind of get forced to roll because you are crouching and then you go onto a slope. So you have to jump at the right time in order to not roll.
Oh, that's a cool
And I think I
strat.
just pressed A early. Yeah, it's fine though.
I'm like noticing all these like cool like little optimizations here and there since like we're not a thing last time around this game, and I'm like, whoa, that's really sick actually. Like the yay bounce right there you just did.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember neglecting that strat for a while just because I thought it was really hard or like RNG dependent, but I don't think it is. It's just you ground pound on that platform and the guy always goes to the right.
Yeah, it's got ground pound like facing probably right there. I imagine you're probably just good.
You don't even need to face right because there's a ceiling above him, so he just like gets bonked. I think it's just based on like, as long as you do it within a certain amount of time of him spawning, he'll face the right direction already.
Also, that's such a weird like little thing. There's just two diamonds right to each other, but one of them's like,
Yeah.
if you just jump at the right time, you get a second diamond. It's so interesting.
Yeah, there's not really an indication that it's there other than the fact that there's a platform there, I guess, but it's like a one tile platform and it might just be, oh, that's how I get back up. But there is another diamond there.
One people probably missed
And
a
it's
lot.
very nice because you get two for the price of one.
Yeah. A lot of people probably missed that one for sure.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Doesn't even matter for this level though, because you get so many coins from it. Like that last room with the two chests in it was like the primary source of our money for this route. The city is in a good spot. That's nice.
Just
If he's like,
go ahead.
I think it's like dependent on the timer or something, but basically he can just be like further to the left there, and he's guaranteed to hit you, which is annoying. So you have to like stall on the ladder. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That's really good. That's a cool strat.
Now we have Pinball Zone, which is the longest level, and it's pretty technical. I'm gonna do my best to like do it properly, but it's very easy to just like lose your progress, or you know. Basically, you have these pinball projectiles, and if you drop one of them, it's game over. And you can drop one of them if it like hits the side of these pinball tulips that you have to throw them into.
Yeah, this is the hardest level in the entire run, in my opinion. Because one, it's the longest level. Two, it's just like you have to make a bunch of cycles of the pinball things opening like over and over again. Like it's very difficult to do it like correctly. And also we gotta get close to 10,000 money in order to get the 100% requirements. So yeah.
Yeah. Ironically, it's actually not that hard comparatively. Like compared to how hard it is in any percent. 100% doesn't actually make it that much harder, just because every single one of these like counters that tell you how many pinballs there are in a level, they always give you 500. So as long as you just wait around, you get 500 for every single room with pinballs in it. So we don't even need to go into like any purple pipes or side rooms or anything.
That's good.
There's a couple diamonds off to the side that we get, and they're very fast. So overall, the level is not that much slower. I'm trying to use speed to get in here. Okay, second try is fine. There's just a diamond behind that pinball tulip that you can't get until you have cleared it out. For some reason, those blocks are breakable, so we can just do a super ground pound here to skip having to use this apple.
Yeah, one thing that matters a lot in this level is the fact that like the direction your face when ground pound the ground makes like whatever object around me like move in that direction.
Oh, that's actually really bad. This is like a nightmare.
I've never seen that one before. What the heck?
I think I just threw it at a slightly different time than I normally would, like into the little upward section here.
I didn't even know it could like go through there.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's happened to me like maybe twice, and it's really bad because it just falls all the way down. So this is the kind of thing you want to avoid in a like PB attempt.
Oh yeah.
And now we have the room with the CD in it. It's sort of hidden, but it's also not. Like it's very easy to just find this on accident. tried to go for a cycle skip here by like dashing over this guy before he had a chance to throw the spikes out. That's fine.
It's one that's like you expect it to be more obscure location, having to do with like the rest of the pinballs and stuff, but no, it's just right there. Like between levels.
I don't even think they move it in the other difficulties. I'm not 100% certain though.
I don't think they do either, no. I'm pretty sure C stays in the same spot every time, but I forget.
I threw that in the wrong spot. Is it more like that? That looks better. We're trying to just like get all of these guys up to the top at once. I failed that as one as well. This level is a constant learning process with things you can and can't do. If you were to throw them all at once, then you would skip having to go back down and do that.
The way I see it is that there's always time to save in pinball zone, no matter what run you do.
Yeah.
It's just a hard level. That's all it is at the end of the day. Kind of a cool level though, honestly. Like even though it's the hardest level in the run, it's still pretty neat. Like concept-wise.
Yeah, it's a cool gimmick. I do like the level. It's just for speedrunning, it's a little bit of a, you know, you better ship up or whatever, or shape up.
Yeah, like right here, we
In my PB, I actually did quite well at this level for my standards, and now trying to run against those splits is a bit of a nightmare.
Oh god, yeah, that's always the worst. It's hard when we do like really well on like a really hard level like this. Has so much route optimization because like then you have to run against the next run.
Yeah, that's when you pull out like balanced PB or like average splits or something.
Also, we go to the right there and put pinballs in first, just because like we're able to respawn them all back in right, like by just going to the right here, no problem. It's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they don't count towards like this pinball counter until they're loaded as like having the ball in them. So you have to basically respawn them in order for it to count.
Pretty convenient, I would say.
We're also good on coins, which is nice. You can take damage in this and the previous room because there's these sparks that can hurt you, and they take away 500 coins, which is the most that any enemy can take away from you. There's like 2 other enemies maybe that take 500 coins away from you. So ideally we want to avoid that. Also, I think I did this wrong. You're supposed to do the left ones first, but it doesn't really matter too much in the scope of this run.
God, this game's so cool.
Alright, I got hit by that guy, but that's fine.
I gotta run this again sometime. This is such a cool game.
I do recommend it.
Yeah. Just like watching this, I'm like, oh my god, this move is so awesome again. It's taking me back, you know?
I do have all my routes written out in a Google Doc. You can find that if you join the Wario Speedrun Discord or if you look on speedrun.com.
That's so perfect.
So if you want to get into the route and like, you know, learn the way I do things without having to study my run, which I would understand, you can just look at that document and see, oh, I go and get this diamond and kill these enemies. Now we have Cuckoo Condor, which is not a very hard boss as long as you don't mess it up. I already made a little bit of a flub there by walking too far, but that's okay. You just have to stand underneath this crane thing while it's ready to attack. It's not going to come down unless you're right under it, like when it's ready. It also has these like sparks and I guess gears that come out, but those don't really matter. Like taking damage in bosses doesn't matter in normal because you have 8 hearts and there's no penalty for losing hearts at all. We're trying to get some double hits here. It's an odd number of health after the first phase, but you can get 1 single hit and just more double hits after that. And it's slightly faster because you don't have to wait for it to shoot eggs out. Now we have Emerald Passage, which is generally considered to be the first intended passage. I would agree with that. The levels are generally shorter and easier.
Yeah, like this level, for instance, just go to the right, then go to the left. That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much just the intended, like, first, like, passage you go to, honestly. Tabby. However, you can do it in the many orders.
There's a shortcut you can take there, but you do need the CD, so you have to go the bottom route.
Yeah. Plus that diamond there, too, is nice.
Yeah, this level doesn't have a whole lot of extra stuff in it, so I think we get every diamond in this level, actually, in the 100% route. Like, you don't need to kill any enemies or get too many of the gems, but you do need to get all these guys, I think. Unless you waste a lot of time killing enemies, in which case you could skip a diamond, but it wouldn't be worth it.
That's one of my favorite, like, purple pipes there, just, like, casually, just because the guy just, like, tumbles all the way down and perfectly lands right in your hand again. they had to, like, test that one, like, when they made this game or something, I don't know.
It feels like a miracle that some of these purple pipes work, because they're, like, you know, kind of intricate puzzles.
Mm-hmm. They're so cool, though. I'm so glad it's, like, a thing in the game. Just these random rooms that give you, like, extra money and stuff. Or just, like, having, like, a fun little challenge. They're so neat.
Yeah.
This game rules.
It's another reason I like this category, because those puzzles are fun, especially it's fun doing them fast.
Mm-hmm. It's a big reason why I read, like, the all diamonds category, like, a couple years ago, just because, like, you do, like, most of them in that run. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I considered running all diamonds, but I wanted to get my goal in 100% first. And I have met that goal, but now I want to do the other difficulties of 100%, so it's a constant process of finding other things to do with the game besides that one thing that I said I wanted to do, for example.
Yeah. That's understandable.
My goal was just to beat the old zipped world record without using zips, which I did do by 8 seconds. It's pretty neat, but now my splits are hard to run against, and I feel like I should just move on to another difficulty.
That's totally valid, I'd say. Hard's always a fun one, honestly. Plus, you already know, like, where some stuff will probably be because of this category, too.
Yeah, I'd have to, like, remember where the chests are, but in most cases we're already going to the same places in the normal route anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hard does, like, move some diamonds, and, like, you know, diamonds replace chests sometimes, or sometimes the chests go in the spot where a diamond will be, but the diamond doesn't swap, so, like, you'll have less money there. So there's some, like, random differences for 100% that I'd have to, like, actually work out, but it's something that I would love to put some time into, because it would be cool to have all the 100% world records at some point.
That'd be awesome.
This is a little awkward. There's supposed to be an enemy here that I can bounce off
Probably
of.
enemy bounce up here, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, he respawned there. I'm just trying to get this diamond. Also, I'm gonna kill this enemy as a red enemy just because this route is actually very tight. There's a sunflower up there that you can hit 4 times and get 500 coins each, so you can get 2,000 coins from that sunflower, but you wanna not do it more times than you need to, so we only get 2, or 1,000 coins.
Oh, it's a neat strat too. Oh my gosh.
That's a little fun enemy bounce just to make sure you don't have to go all the way up this vine ladder here. This escape is pretty short in, like, any percent, because all you have to do is get this chest and go down. We do get a couple extra things here. We want to go up here and get 2 diamonds that are up here, which is a lot of diamonds.
Definitely hard to ignore in a category like this, that's for sure.
Oh, that's actually bad. Doesn't matter, I can just get inflated again. There was that first diamond there, and you also want to make sure you can actually land on this platform so you can go down here and get the second one. And then we do a roll, and there's yet another diamond right here. In some of my older runs, I would find myself short and like right at the end, so I would have to like use the flowers in order to get money because the bees can pollinate the flowers, and if you wait for like 5 seconds, then they turn like huge and red and give you 100 coins. So like if you're slightly short at the end of the level, then you better wait for those flowers. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. So there was a diamond up there, and then there's a purple pipe here. People complain about this purple pipe a lot. I don't really mind it. It's just trial and error figuring out where you can throw this guy. Like, it's not pixel perfect by any means. I think you have like basically an entire tile to work with, or 16 pixels.
It's a bit tight, but it's not too bad, thankfully.
Yeah, and like once you learn where it is, you can like just do it pretty quickly.
It's not longer either. You can just kind of refresh if you mess up as well. You can't really get them out of the water there at that point.
Yeah. This room has a series of 4 bubbles in it. We're gonna try to skip the first 3, but get hit by this. Okay, well, we got hit by the second one, but that's okay. We want to skip the first 3 and get hit by the 4th one because there's a diamond through like a current that you normally can't swim through. This is actually faster than doing the purple pipe that's right next to the frog switch.
Which pipe is that again? Do what's in there?
That's the one where you have to like climb up a ladder and then charge throw the Seinstein so that he falls through the water and hits switch blocks right when you're about to climb the second ladder.
Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty slow, yeah. No kidding on that one.
For some reason, that like spiked octopus thing doesn't actually take coins away from you when it damages you. There's a few things like that in the game, but not very common. Now we just run through this chestnut room. I missed a jump, but that's okay. And the CD is right at the end. Now we have Monsoon Jungle, which is naturally the hardest one in Emerald Passage, but it's also a pretty difficult level just overall, at least for the speedrun, because there's a bunch of moving platforms that you need to jump across with full speed or near full speed. Also, I messed that up. You're supposed to hit that with full speed so that you prevent it from falling in the water. If you turn around early, then it will bonk off you a second time and land back in the water, which obviously would be bad.
Yeah, like this room right here and like some of the other platform rooms a little bit, we're going through like, these are the rooms that you always practice like before a run starts, because like it's very, lose all your speed here and just like not be able to jump over them at all at the right timing.
Yeah, or like miss time a jump or not hold A for the right amount of time.
It's very tricky.
Thankfully that's first room, or rather the second room, I guess. The first hard room went fine. There's 2 more rooms where you have to jump across some moving platforms, and hopefully those also go well. There's a diamond down here, and we're also going to ground pound here because there's one of those spring enemies that's already loaded. You just can't see it on screen. And this is very slow, but we have to do this for the CD. We have a nice little fun upwards movement there.
You're scaring me a bit about just moving around there back and forth. I thought you missed the block.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it like during the loading zone. Ideally, I would hit the wall before I hit the loading zone, but we made it work. Okay. I jumped a little bit late there, so we're gonna just go slow for the last bit.
Still very nicely done, honestly.
Not worth falling in the water there at that point. Killing those enemies for safety because this route is a little tight, and it's possible to be like 50 coins short or something and have to go through the first room again to get like some blue coins that you missed, which is not very fun. After doing this room, we just go over here and roll to the right. There's a chest on the way, but we're gonna get it a little bit later. First, we're gonna just open up this shortcut and get hit on the wall right there so we can go back for the chest. This route was discovered like semi-recently. We used to go for the chest first and then roll, which is kind of the obvious thing to do, but this is nice because you don't have to like go back to the upper room there using the ladder.
Yeah, I think you just didn't know you can just bonk right there, no problem. Which, like, understandable.
Yeah, if you do miss that bonk, then you lose a lot of time because you have to go through this entire room if you like miss that first wall.
Yeah, like it's definitely risk reward sort of thing, but if it pays off, it's big time save for sure.
I do have a pretty nice visual cue for it, so I don't tend to miss it, but it does happen.
It is scary for sure.
Now we have Cractus, which is the first and or the last regular boss. This one has just a very easy stun lock where you hit him when he's very easy to hit. Like before the fight really starts, he's very easy to just hit, and then he stays in place for a couple seconds, and once he's vulnerable again, he stays in place for just a little bit longer and you can hit him. The way I learned to do this is just to count to 7 flashes. That's fine.
That's what I just mentioned in chat a second ago. I was going to bring up that this game, fair enough, Practice for whatever reason just appears in WarioWare Move It's, like on Switch. Came out like in 2023. Like I don't know why, but he's just kind of there randomly. Like mention them too and everything.
Yeah, I haven't played Move It. I'll probably play it at some point, but WarioWare series is also fun. It's very different from the Wario Land series, but that doesn't make it
Yeah,
bad.
that game's alright for sure. I didn't like it as much as the other WarioWares. Not as much as like Get It Together on Switch at least, but it's alright.
Yeah, I played Get It Together a decent amount, but not like gone for 100% or anything.
Hard to 100% those games. It's just a lot of grinding usually.
Yeah. In this level, this is technically the way you're supposed to like get back to the beginning. Usually it's like, oh, you fell out of one of these rooms, so now you have to go back to the beginning of the level. But we can also just like dodge the current and go forward instead and just skip a lot of the early platforming. We're gonna use that monkey early just so those blocks are already broken. Because there's a diamond down there that we're gonna get on our second lap through that room.
There's a lot of very like subtle like skips you do in this level, especially like, for instance, you're not supposed to be able to
like this box jump here.
that one right there. You just get up there and skip going all the way back around again through the current at the bottom of the room. You just don't see that current at all until right at the very end of this, where you have to take it to get out.
There's a very difficult strat you can do that saves, I think, like a couple seconds. I've not learned in the slightest how you're supposed to do it, but you just like grab the stein and throw them upwards from the chest.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that sounds really hard, actually. Probably not too bad, though.
I don't know because I haven't learned it, but I'm not really excited about learning it.
That's totally fair.
We have to kill 2 enemies in this room because they give you 50 coins. Everything else in this level is like in denominations of 500 or 1,000, so we can't get 9,600, but if we kill 2 of those enemies and get their coins, then we do get the 100 that we need to get the exact amount. We could also get an extra diamond, but that's not worth it. I did forget to get the diamond on the way in here. That's okay. Normally I would get that first one on the way in and then the second one on the way out, but it doesn't really matter.
We got exactly the amount we need here, so it's all good.
Yeah. It's just peace of mind if you can get the first one on the way in, because it's easier to do that way.
Mm-hmm. And now I have our final boss right here. And like
Yeah, so
basically
this is kind of a long fight. It's in a few phases, like 4 phases.
Mm-hmm. Basically 100% confirmed at this point, because like you don't really, you're not gonna lose all the chests in the background or anything, so it's fine.
I don't know if you can even check for 100% at this point. I guess that's a good thing to do for this kind of setting, but I guess I could have checked the sound room to see if karaoke was unlocked, but I don't know if it unlocks until you beat the game.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually. If you want to show like after the run's done, maybe if you want to do that, but up to you on that one, honestly.
It's up to how long the credits are, I guess. It takes like several minutes for the credits, but we haven't had to redo any levels, so we should be pretty good on the estimate. I don't have a timer right now, but I assume this is like 109 or 110 pace or something.
Yeah, with Golden Diva here, first phase we just get rid of the fan there entirely. All the heads flow around, and like as soon as they like, yeah, you do that. And like just now in the second phase here, there's all these different objects gonna go down. First off, you have the green ball that you have to like hit it to like be able to hold it again. This guy like a ball you can like bash back at her. The third one you have an egg, you have to like catch then throw at her, and then I get the hammer, which is gonna hopefully keep for the rest of this fight. It goes away after a little bit, but if we do it correctly, we just keep it and keep using the spring over and over again. We just do massive damage that way.
Okay, we're still good. One of the like key things to keeping the hammer on screen, especially if you don't have the fight like down to a T, is you can just ground pound to make it stop flashing. It's very useful for if you miss hits or whatever. It's very hard to like know exactly where the diva is going to be, because like it does move predictably, but the movement is very weird. Oh, that's too bad.
Try just one more hit right here. You got this.
It's very hard to keep track of what it's going to do next, because like in this final like portion of this phase, it just cycles between all the different ones, but it skips one if it takes damage. So like you have to do a bunch of mental gymnastics to figure it out, and I didn't do it right, but that's fine.
It's hard, honestly.
In this last phase, you just hit her while she's going back up. And time is when I hit the lips here, which is in a couple of seconds. Time.
GG, GG.
So we beat all the bosses in the required time, so we have all 12 of these chests. Because like they carry from the bosses into Golden Diva. And we also beat Diva in the required time, so that portion of 100% is done. And we also, as far as I know, we got all the gold crowns, I assume.
I didn't see any
I didn't
miss at all.
think of anything.
So I think you're good there.
Yeah. And also all CDs, that's pretty easy to just verify. I think it said 16 when we were in Golden Passage.
Mm-hmm. It did, yeah. So I think it's 100%. I'm pretty sure we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times where I like just don't notice that I have a silver crown on a level, but I've gotten better at actually paying attention during the levels and making sure that I have exactly what I need.
I'm back here as a verifier the whole time anyways. If you missed one, I would have said something for sure. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, GG's. Do you have any shout-outs to make right at the end of this?
Yeah, shout-outs to the Wario Land forerunners and the Wario community in general. I actually learned a couple of strats from you. I just like some random strats to get diamonds faster.
Hell yeah.
Also, shout-outs to Green Bean for having the zipped world record for 10 years. I did learn from that. I tried to improve his routes, but some of them, you know, there were some good things in them as well.
Shout out to Green Bean, OG runner of this game.
And, Yeah, and shout outs to all the Wario Land forerunners. Like, I've learned strats from a lot of people because it applies to any percent and 100% for some of the movement through levels. Even if I don't display it properly all the time, I still try to. It's a very hard game, but it's also fun, and I do recommend running it.
Oh yeah, and this game's still very active too. Like, there's people still going, like, pushing down times in all the categories. Like, Sniper Wave recently got new, like, 8% records for this game, and I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah.
One of the people from Japan.
Is it Hideseek?
Yeah, Hideseek, yeah. Yeah, like a...
Hideseek just got hard world record.
Yeah.
And also has the second ever 45 and normal 90%. But yeah, we have some active runners who are just going crazy with the game.
It's very cool to see, honestly.
And then there's me, who's doing 100% on the side. I do like this category, and I think it should be run more. I'm the second person on the leaderboards, or I guess I'm first place, but I'm the second person ever to submit 100% run to normal difficulty.
I kind of want to run myself
So
again, honestly.
I'd love some competition if you want to learn the run.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it, honestly, at some point in late layers here. This run's so cool. But yeah, that all being said, though, I'm doing a few last little announcements here before I end off for do all the things tonight. So yeah, if you like Hotfix, sure to join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role there, where you can tap upcoming events, talk to staff, and more. Use the exclamation mark Discord and Twitch chat for more info on that, which I'll do for you. I got you. Yeah, if you missed any of our Hotfix shows in general, or events like Bat to Black or Frost Fatale just happened last week, very cool events. Check out the VODs on youtube.com/GameZoneQuick. I think also, again, I think we're close to 1 million subs on YouTube, so if we can get there, if you can sub there right into GQ's YouTube, go ahead and do that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, also you can go to GameZoneQuick.com/Hotfix, check out the season's lineup, and check out the schedule for this week's runs, which after this will be Parallel Universe with Toontown Online, so look forward to that one. It's gonna be very, very cool. We got a lot of friends on this next show here. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah.
I just want to say Yoshio Sakamoto was the supervisor that just showed up in the credits. There's a joke in my chat that S hard stands for Sakamoto hard. Just want to point that out.
That's very good, honestly. But yeah, that being said, that's it for Do All the Things this week. So thank you all for watching, and look forward to